There
you go.
Welcome to the Bob and Tam Show.
So we're going to check out the volume first to see how everything is. We've got a lapel mic on. I do. And he doesn't have one on because he's been sick. He got what I had, so he's coughing a lot, so he didn't want to cough in your ear. So it hasn't come on yet, I guess, for him for some reason.
So there's always a little bit of a delay.
I know.
So we'll talk a little bit while we're waiting. So the music's a little louder today. We're over here at Twin Peaks. There's Almodo checking it out. And Almodo's in the house. We've seen him several times this week.
Rowan's on. Hi, Rowan. Oh, now is it on? Is it noisy? Can you hear me, or can you hear the everything else going on? So, Rowan, we got to meet Mon. She's from Sydney, Australia. She's going to be over here in Florida for about 2 weeks, I guess, now. So we got to meet her in Sturgis a couple years ago, and now we'll get to meet, and we met her today. So, or not today, a couple days ago. Thursday, I guess, it was at Willings. And then we saw her downtown. We were walking downtown and saw her again. Rick Raines is on. He says, good evening, guys. Hope you're having a good day. It was a download day, I guess, today. Why is that one not working?
Well, I'm kind of breaking up.
Oh.
So
I guess he's going to put his own mic on, and hopefully he won't cough very much. Karen's on. She says, hi, guys. We'll see you when we get out to around the Orlando area, DeLand, Leesburg, because you're kind of out that way. We did get to meet you, though, finally. That's cool. Salty Badger's on. And Bill Dunham is on. There's a Facebook user. Where's our Facebook at? Whoever's on that says, when are you guys, let's see, can't see it. Oh, there's somebody wrote a big long thing. Hey, you guys, whoops. Are you guys coming to Myrtle Beach this year? Yes, we'll be in Myrtle Beach. One of our subscribers, Michael Adam, he helped us get down there. He sponsored us to get to Myrtle Beach this year. Clint's on. Hey, Clint, how are you doing?
So what tonight we're going to talk about is how did the vendors do? What's the population we think showed up? How many people attended? We've heard some crazy numbers. I don't know where somebody got this at. Somebody was trying to say there was over 900,000 people showed up. That didn't happen. We'll talk about it here in a few minutes and give you some statistics because I did some looking up again to contradict a lot. Last year, Daytona didn't come out with any numbers at all. And I think a lot of it may be because of what we say. Because, some of these numbers when they come up with, there's not enough hotels, there's not enough campgrounds, there's not enough, there's not even that many motorcycles in all of Florida if everybody showed up. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. And she goes through everybody's name as they're checking in.
Are you going, Palmoto? Are you going to Myrtle Beach? There's Fat Faith. We had breakfast with him this morning and his wife, his lovely wife.
We hear on Myrtle Beach that there may be a big location for the vendors, big trucks that were over at Barefoot Landing. We're hearing some more rumors today that a couple people got their new contracts for the new location. So we're going to have to give him a call on Monday and find out if that did get signed. And maybe we'll have him come on Monday and tell you guys where his new location is going to be and what's going on. And so kind of exciting for Myrtle Beach because we lost Barefoot Landing. That's where the big trucks are at. JP Cycles and Ciro. And now Rick Rack goes over to the dealership. But a lot of people don't like the dealership. They've got some issues going on over there with the guy that takes care of it. And then down there at Merle's Inlet, it's just tough. I know Fair and Exchange, I think they're down there at a bar someplace, and a couple other people I've seen.
So Danny's on. Did you guys leave yet? Are you still here? And thank you for dinner if you bought us dinner. And if it wasn't you, then I'm assuming it was David and Mary Beth. But I don't know which one of you bought our
I had to check, I got my wallet out, and all of a sudden it magically disappeared, so I really have no idea. So how does the sound sound? Do you hear the music? Do you hear the excess of people talking around us?
There you go. Palmoto said he's traveling with us in 2024. So I guess he's going to go to there. David said they're just at their campsite, finishing up, setting up. There you go. So he's back over in Finger Lake, I don't know. Lady, I don't know.
Someplace over by
Lady Fingers and Lakes. I don't know.
Lady Fingers and Lakes.
Moach 55 says, sounds good.
So
little background noise, Tim.
She got sick the Wednesday before the rally. She started getting sick like the next day when we were out riding. We thought was
allergies. I don't know what it was.
but now I've caught it. I got it just a couple days ago, and that's why we didn't go out to the out to fast lane because I wasn't feeling very good. Went to bed early. Thought it would be better. Next day, I didn't feel too bad today. I worked on our bike today. I got the shocks put on, 2 sets. Trying to figure out which ones to put on. I ended up putting the shorter ones on. The foot pegs, I put those on. I had to get some snap ring pliers to put the actual new feet to fit the other ones because I couldn't get off with a screwdriver.
What's
I was
the
having a party.
birthday?
I brought the antlers out.
The antlers.
As I said, I have a birthday in now.
Holy cow. Must put the antlers on his head.
Not quite sure what they did. I think he had to read what was on the plaque, and I couldn't see from here what actually is on it. So she's going to go around.
Lady like, there you go. Randy's on. Hey, Randy. Tommy's on, and Papa Drew's on. Actually, Billy's on. He's watching.
Yep, we seen him today over at the Beaver Bar.
Yep.
He was going to be tearing down today. We're going to talk a little bit about vendors, how vendors did. Some of the vendors that we talked to said, what you got to think about is a couple things, which they brought up to me. One is sometimes over the 4-year period, sometimes an election can affect people. Okay, not saying it is or it doesn't, but that seems to be. And being in 2020 and 2021 and over these last couple of years, things have changed totally. 2020 people just came out because they were locked up. 2021 they were like, hey, we're free again. And 2022, so it's been a pretty good increase. Last year was okay for most of the vendors. It wasn't a killer like it was the 2021, but so a lot of them are thinking, we need to think about what the numbers were back in 2018, 2019. Several of the vendors that we talked to today exceeded what they did last year. So they were pretty happy. We had some people down on Main Street said they were down in sales. So I think it kind of depended on what you were doing for service. I'm not going to mention anybody's name, who did better, who didn't. We'll do Adam because he actually went on his channel today and said he ended up pulling it out. And we're going to talk about the attendance too. So Eli, if he wants to talk to you a little bit about what he thought about his sales that they had over there at the Iron Horse. This year was just kind of weird for us. I didn't get to go around all the places that we normally do. Now, we did take a full day to take out that road glide, which we'll be talking about that in about a week. We'll sit down and tell you all the things that I like, and I'll tell you the things I didn't like, and where that future of that bike could go. So that's interesting. So that'll be coming up soon. We've got a lot of videos that are in the queue. So you guys seen a taste of some of the bike shows, things like that. We did a lot, just like for Willie's. I got a lot of interviews from people about their bikes, all that kind of stuff. I didn't put any of that up yet. So you guys are going to get to see that in the next couple of weeks. You'll be able to check out those videos. We also went to Warren's bike show. We went to the Perowitz bike show. We went over to Giuseppe's and checked that bike show out. We didn't make it over to Rat's Hole, and we didn't make it down to Boardwalk. Yeah. Now, the sound competitions, we don't fool with any of those. We did get some cool bikes yesterday. We went to the bikini contest over there at Teddy. And it was pretty good. I looked back at the video because the sun is always setting and it's shining in our face. So I'm going to have to edit it a lot.
Well, I got on stage, so I was kind of.
But they put music all the way through it, too. So we'll have to see what we can do with it.
So we did do the Daytona appreciation thing down there on the beach. We were there, and we got some footage of that.
Yes, so that was kind of neat if you don't know anything about that. And we'll do a video, and we'll talk a little bit more about that to tell you some of the things. That's history. There's some great names. Bruce Rossmeyer was down there. Now, he never raced, but they have people on the outside wall of people that they acknowledge.
People in the industry.
That kind of changed what the world was about. So there's quite a few people that were on that. Now, we didn't get every single name, but we got some shots of some of that, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So we're still in Daytona. We're leaving tomorrow for Orlando. So we did get some stuff like that. So we'll show you some of that. We did some riding. We stayed quite a bit down on Main Street. The first Friday and Saturday we were down there. The other night we were there. It was a Friday night, I guess. We were down there again. It was a Saturday.
For what?
Down on Main Street. The Friday or Saturday went down again this weekend.
Saturday morning. We weren't down there at night. But David Wilmot was down there, and he said it was insane last night.
So we'll talk a little bit about attendance. One of the things that I seen this year, remember spring break started this week at the end of the beginning of the rally. So we've seen a lot of teeny boppers down there walking up and down the A1A. So it is the A1A. We looked it up.
It's A1A.
Yeah, we were talking about that on another live. We didn't know if it was just A1 or 1A but it is A1A. Oh, we're on Mount that right now too. I think there's 390 miles, if I'm not mistaken. It could be 340. One of those two numbers.
300 and something.
Of miles of the A1A. It is very, very close that they're going to call it Jimmy Buffett Highway. So you got to heard it from here if you haven't been checking the news and things like that. I'm kind of a Jimmy Buffett fan, and it's kind of popped up in my feed, and I look at it, and it's waiting for the governor to sign it, and he's going to sign it. He's not going to, for something like that. Jimmy Buffett was a big person here for Florida and stuff, and so I think that'll.
Well, they said, remember it said it was probably going to be done by August. Somebody had told me that I think it's August 31st. I'm not for sure. I don't know if that's his birthday, but that's a state Florida holiday. Jimmy Buffett Day is August 31st.
So yeah, maybe they're going to put them up. They say the signs are going to cost like $1,800 a sign. Which I can't believe it's that much to make a sign. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's the labor to change them all out. I don't know. But that's just something we'll let you know about. So what we thought about this year, we'll talk a little bit about last year. I don't want to go back too many years because we've been doing this since 2020. And we've done the fall rallies. We've done the spring rallies. So, I don't remember a lot about them. I can definitely remember last year. That was pretty easy for me to remember. Last year, we'll step back here. We'll go back 1 year. And about the same time that it was weird last year because we ended up having, Thursday before the rally started, it was Shelley Rossmeyer's Harley Davidson then. You couldn't even walk on the property. It was so packed. Bad news was they couldn't sell beer yet because they couldn't start selling beer until that Friday. So that was crazy. But as the weekend went on, by the time we got to Sunday, Monday, there was nobody here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it was like a skeleton crew. It was just really scary. But then came, Wednesday and Thursday, people started rolling in, and we had a great rally that made up for us. So,
there goes.
So this year, I've seen a good, steady flow of people. We had a good crowd on the first weekend. We were over at Teddy Morris's, before it started. We were actually there because they opened up on the 29th, February 29th. Was that Thursday? Yeah, that was Thursday. So they opened again on Thursday. And they had a pretty good crowd. It wasn't packed like it was the year before, but it was a pretty good crowd. So we had TAM'S bike worked on and things like that. So it was. That
was almost a whole day, too, of getting all the stuff done to my bike. Those 2 days that was kind of out of the whole equation, going for the ride with the bike, the Road Glide, the 2024, and then getting my bike worked on.
So those will come out. We have a lot of videos to show you all that too. But talking about the attendance, what ended up happening here is come Thursday. Now you have to realize we do have, quote, a Black Bike Week that starts the last weekend. I think it's Friday and Saturday. We didn't end up making it. I was going to go down there again, and we just, so much stuff going on, didn't have time, plus feeling kind of bad. We didn't get out as much as we wanted.
Friday night was an early night. We were in bed by 7, 8 o'clock.
So we can't really say, but I'm not saying black people, white people, yellow colored people, whatever color you might be. But I did see a good presence this last weekend, of a lot of black riders.
Yep.
So it was very prevalent. Some were on Harleys, some were on crotch rockets. They were on a variety of bikes. We've seen a whole group of, I don't know who these guys were, that were riding up and down Main Street on scooters. And they were revving them.
They were going because they don't they don't make any noise.
But I mean, Main Street was pretty crowded all the time. Sam, the guy we stay with, comes in at 9 o'clock and sets up down there in front of one sexy biker chick, and he stays till about 4. He said almost every day by 10 o'clock there was no parking left, and we've seen that a couple times. We went down there early in the morning to kind of see what was going on. That it was very crowded on Main Street. Now, talking a little bit about Main Street, I've seen a lot of strollers. I've seen a lot of people that did not look like biker attire. They didn't have rally shirts on. They didn't have Harley shirts on or Kawasaki or whatever they got, Indian. So I would say there was over 50% of the people down on Main Street did not own motorcycles. Now that's pretty common because people want to say, well, let's go see what this is going on. If you're there in the morning and you see them driving down in their vehicles, you look in the window and you can tell these people have no freaking idea what they're doing because they're looking around and they're stopping in the middle of the street trying to take pictures. Man, keep going. Keep the traffic rolling, dude. Get out of the way. There ain't nothing here for you to see. And I think they should, which they should, but they don't close Main Street fully because they say they don't have enough police officers to close the street down. You know, they ain't charging enough. I guess tax money, I guess. I don't know. But we had to deal with that. The Can-Ams and the Slingshots, all of them ran up and down the street. Golf carts, they were running up and down the street.
Can-Ams aren't quite as big. They're probably not much bigger than a trike, but the Slingshots are gigantic.
And those guys, but there's that stereo issue again. You know, if you're playing your stereo so loud that we all have to listen to it, do you have some kind of complex, or is there something between your legs you don't have very good of that you want to compensate yourself for? Nobody really wants to hear your music. We don't really care that your stereo, we can hear it 3 blocks away. It doesn't make you any better man or woman or whatever you might be. That's not going to make you any better person. Most of us, when we're standing on the side of the road and we see people do stuff like that, loud stereos, we look at ourselves and say, isn't that guy a freaking moron? You know, he thinks he's such a cool dude because he's got hey, if you're that 60, 70-year-old guy and you're playing the rap music, send me a text. Let me know all the songs that you play. Because I really like to know the songs you're listening to. Because I don't believe you're that up to date with the hip hop. But maybe I'm wrong. But so overall, I think it was a really good rally for attendance-wise. Let's talk numbers. You know, my thought is right now we're probably looking at about 50 to 100,000 participants that showed up for our bike week. We're not counting spring breakers. We're not counting vacationers. We're not counting anybody that came over here from the villages to come over and see what's going on. You know, the party bus that comes over from the villages that loves to come to rallies. We ain't counting them because they're not motorcycle people. You're supposed to be counting motorcycle people. And because if there's tourists here, you don't know what brought them here. If there was 10,000 people that were here for spring break and they walked down the street one time, I don't consider them rally goers, because if the rally wasn't going on, they would have been here anyway. So let's just talk a few numbers, because everybody always tells me I'm nuts. I don't know what I'm talking about. So here I got some numbers. There is 637,500 motorcycles in the whole state of Florida. So when they come up and say there's 500,000, a million bikes show up at a rally, where are they coming from? So not everybody's going to come. When you look at hotel rooms, out of 200 properties that they have in the vicinity, we're not just counting Daytona, I'm counting Ormond Beach, all the different hotels, they have 12,000 rooms. And somebody said, well, you got to think about the Airbnbs and rentals and stuff. I actually looked that up too. It was 13,700 rooms that they have. So right there, you're looking at what, 2,500, let's go 26,000 rooms you could have. If you even had 4 people to every room, we made it to 100,000. But if we're coming, we're not bringing no buddies or girlfriends with us in our room. We're going to stay by ourselves in our hotel room. And they say, you know, you're not thinking about the campgrounds. How many trailers do you think's out there at Cackleberry? You know, we're going to find out. We're going to call Crazy Horse here next week, and we'll find out exactly how many RVs they had come in. Because that's probably the biggest campground in the area for having the most vehicles on there. So we'll check with him and get a full count. But when you start looking at this, I don't see how they come up with 2, 3, 4, 500,000 bikers that came to a rally. There's one where they staying at. So I thought of another thing. You know, you all know about Disneyland out there, don't you? So how many people you think could come to the Magic Kingdom before they lock the property down? 150,000 people. So have you ever been to Disneyland when they locked it down? I was when I was a kid, but I don't really remember that. But you go to Disneyland this weekend, it's not locked down, and there's so many freaking people, you can't even get on a ride for 4 or 5 hours. So you're saying there's more people here than at Disneyland in any one maxed out weekend. Just a thought. Now, that's based on one day. One of the other things that I was going to talk about, which I just lost my train of thought. I don't know. My mind just went blank.
It's going to be sick.
But I'm saying that it was a really good rally. I'm not disappointed in the venues or the people that showed up. You know, there's always clowns out here that don't know how to ride a bike. And somebody made a comment the other day that I kind of get on crotch rockets. You know, there's just as many stupid Harley riders and Indian riders as there is stupid people that are riding crotch rockets that are revving their motorcycle all the way up and trying to impress somebody. Nobody's interested in your stunts ability. You know, we go out here to Teddy Morris's, or you can go over here to the fairgrounds, and you can see guys that actually are pretty close to professional racers, that they get out there and do stuff. You can go out there and see the enduro track racing they had. You know, you see some of that. But when people come downtown and they're, you're running down the 818 or the one and you can rev your engine a little bit, they're not going to say a whole lot to you. But when you're in that closed content of like that, you got to think of safety. It hurts people's eardrums. You could backfire. Something could fly out of your exhaust, a piece of metal or something. Doing burnouts, you could lose control. If you jump the curb and you hit a few people, how many people do you think you could take out? Probably a lot. And we wonder why it's so strict on Main Street. First of all, hopefully you're not any of the stupid morons that drive up and down the street 100 times in the same day. We don't care. Once we see you 2 or 3 times, dude, we don't really want to see you anymore. I
would think that would get boring for being a driver. I wouldn't want to, because it's a lot of work, a lot of effort, and it takes a long time to get around and back down.
I think they're just making U-turns and come back. Making U-turns and come back. So they're not going all the way. See, my idea was, and I'm going to call the city up again and complain. They need to make Main Street one way towards the bridge. And if they stopped it at the bridge, then you'd have to go over the bridge to go around. The other thing would be is make the other lane parking for bikes. We would have more parking on Main Street than we do now because most of the stupid barricades and crap they put up, you can't park all the way. So you're going to end up lining the bikes up nice and straight, and it'd be a little bit more organized too. Plus, it'll stop the stupid morons that want to go up and down the street a dozen times. We might. Well, I've never done it twice in the same day. Normally, I might ride all the way down to the end, and then we find a place to park at the end, or we close. Pretty much when it's busy, we find wherever we can park. But we try to maybe we'll leave going through. But I mean, the last one we went on, it must have been Saturday night when we were down there. We sat there and I filmed the whole video, so we're going to show you that. I might put a time lapse on it to show you. We were only halfway. We were down by, I think, by 160 biker stick or something where we parked, and we drove all the way down to the rest of Main Street. And I'll bet you it was a good 15, 20 minutes that it took us to get there. That wasn't even the whole thing.
That was like, what, 3 blocks?
And the problem that you have is the crosswalks. Unless you're going straight, which ain't no place to go, it's only a block at dead end, you can't make a right turn, you can't make a left turn because all the people are crossing. What they should do, which is they do in a lot of big cities, is have a crosswalk that shuts all the lights down. They can cross diagonal, they can cross any way they want, and then during traffic turns, it would be open for everybody to do. Now, when it's busy, the cops are out there and they stop that and they direct people in. But I'm saying the rest of the time that they're not around.
So they're saying a lot of oh my gosh, I don't know now. They're talking about the weather that a couple, Harley One Forever, one said, a couple people were talking about full throttles coming to Daytona, which we heard that last year. We had
actually heard it 3 or 4 years ago.
They said it's supposed to go by Destination Daytona now.
I don't believe it. When I see that he's bought ground, then you consider that. Michael Ballard's been looking for a long time. There's been a couple great places, right? There's one for sale right now, right across from the Speedway. It was a restaurant bar, right almost next door to Hooters. That's where they were supposed to be looking before. But they were looking behind Hooters, which that was a rumor because behind Hooters is a freaking subdivision. You're not going to put a bar in a subdivision. They're not going to zone it for that.
Must have been alongside instead of behind.
I don't know. So Michael Ballard, we haven't heard anything. We get to Sturgis and kind of rattle his cage, but I don't know. But I wouldn't hold my breath. But I mean, he's been looking for 3 years. This year, I didn't see him nowhere. I never heard anybody say he was here.
Oh, last 2 years, with Jesse either.
Last 2 years, he's been walking up and down the street on Main Street and looking around. And
last year, I guess.
That's what I said. The last 2 years, we didn't see him this year.
Oh,
didn't see him. When I heard nobody say anything, that they seen him in town. So, but all he was going to be able, he's not going to build another full throttle like he has out there in Sturgis. If you've been to any of his bars, it's a distillery. They have a place like a garden area. It is nothing like the big full throttle. So don't think what you're going to see. Now, to me, building it out by Teddy Morris is the worst mistake you could ever make. And you can say, why would you say that? So let's say the bike week's not going on, and you're going to come to Daytona for a weekend. Typically if you come here, you're probably going to go to the beaches and things like that. Why would you stay way out there at Teddy Morris's Clariton Inn? You're miles from the beach. Why would you not stay in one of the hotels down close to the beach area? So what I hear is that hotel pretty much most of the year is empty. There's nobody staying there. There's people that are traveling. They'll stop overnight. But other than the condos that they rent out yearly, there's not a lot of rooms sold out except for during Bike Week and Biketoberfest. So I think that would be a bad move for Michael Ballard. He would be better over by the Speedway. That would be the best location because you've always got stuff going on at the Speedway. They have different events going on there and things like that.
Races, they're all year round.
And we'll talk a little bit about that. Traffic at Destination Daytona this year was insane, especially the last weekend here. They closed the freaking lanes down to where when you're coming down the one, they had one lane. You had to move over.
You're going north.
They had the exits set up to get off the highway because the idea is they can't have cars, motorcycles backing up on the highway, which we've been in that before, sitting out there on the highway in traffic lanes, trying to get off on the traffic lane. The other thing was they closed down the left to come out of the dealership. Well, we'll go the other way. They made you go all the way down to the truck stop entrance, Harley Davidson Drive or whatever that's called, and come in that back way. They've never done that before. They've had that as an option, but they had let you come also in the first entrance, which brings you between Colt's Barbecue and Hooligans. You can come in that way. They always had that other area, the entrance for Hooligans. They've always kind of had that shut down and only for handicap or whatever the case was there. But it kind of sucked if you want to eat there. But so that was a total effing mess, because then when you pull out of Teddy Morris's, you're going to make a right-hand turn, and you can't turn around on the first U-turn. You can't turn around on the second U-turn. So we're all standing there on the third U-turn, out in the middle of the highway, standing there on the US 1, trying to make a U-turn. What the hell was the difference there? We could all get killed just as easy there as we could at the first turnaround. Whoever the moron was that came up with that idea is a more freaking moron. I don't know. They think we're going to drive that way. There's nothing. We did drive that way. There's nothing down that way. You got to drive like 10 or 15 miles to get to the next
12
town.
miles to Venel.
Who the hell wants to drive down there to turn around and come back?
Well, I thought, because we were going to go get breakfast, and I didn't want to go down the other way and then have to fight that traffic to get back in. So I said, let's just turn right. We'll go down to Venel, which I thought was only a few miles down the road. I didn't know it was 12 miles. But then we got to Venel, and we saw we couldn't turn left to get back in. I said, let's just go
We went
down
up
the
to
100
95
and
we
got
went
to
down,
95.
which is the best way to go. It's pretty much set up this year. The US 1, at times, we got it filmed. It is almost, you're probably about a quarter of a mile on the busy days to Beaver Bar. That is insane to sit in that traffic. We were only halfway there. We were sitting on the other side of Annie Oakley's, and we probably sat there. That's when we found out that they were going down to one lane, because the lane coming off the highway, they had their own lane, and then they had the other lane coming off, and people are trying to get on the highway, off the highway. What a nightmare. And so, yes, I bet you a lot of people blew Teddy Morris off over the weekend, because if you got down there and got in that mess, it is a nightmare to get out of there. Teddy Morris is the same thing. They need to find parking for cars someplace off the property, because that was just insane having all those cars down there. You got the truck stop. Finally, the truck stop on Saturday, they closed it down. They weren't allowing any trucks in. They weren't, which if you're a truck driver, which we have a lot of them on our channel, Mike and a couple other of you, you have to be a real stupid moron to find out that I'm going to get off at the Love truck stop during Bike Week. So maybe they want to see what Bike Week's all about. But I would not want to be pulling a giant rig into an area where it's full of motorcycles. It'd be really easy to run over somebody and not know you did it. So that's just my question. I don't get that, why they're coming in. Because they were coming all the way until Friday and Saturday. They shut it down. They probably figured out they could make a lot more money off of paying everybody $5. They probably had a couple thousand bikes there at $5 a piece. Plus, we're all in there buying food. And when I went in there to use the bathroom, it was there was a lot of people in there, and it was just motorcycle people, because that's all that could get in there. But the shuttle service and stuff. So for the dealership, so Rick Rack moved.
Wide Open
Customs moved. There's a bunch of new people now that are on behind Hooligans. They didn't have as good a foot traffic as what the back of the lot did. So really, if you were a vendor like Cal at Chubby Cups, is like one of the first tents that come in from the parking lot there. He did really good. He was really happy with the sales he had. Speed was really happy with that they had.
Brought you a new one. Is it sweet too?
I didn't try it. But so it kind of sucked that you were one of those people, because I think what hurt it is because they didn't allow anybody to come in at the Colts exit, where before there was a lot of bikes that parked up front. Now they weren't allowing that. You had to go through the crowd, which was a pain for even allowing bikes. It shouldn't be allowing, if you're going to do something stupid like that, you shouldn't allow motorcycles to drive down the area where there's hundreds of people walking in the aisle unless they're getting work done on their bike. Some of the rallies we go, you got to get a little card, and you got to show that little card to get your bike in through the gate. And they really need to do that here because somebody's going to get hurt. Now, we haven't heard about the deaths yet. We know 2 got killed the first day of the rally Friday out on the 4. A couple got killed. We heard somebody else. There was 5 motorcycles go down and
Want to know how Adam said he did?
Adam said he did pretty good. He ended up saying that I watched a little bit of his video today, 30-minute video. I wasn't gonna watch it all. Kind of skimmed through it, and he had trouble with his black tank again, thanks to the grandkid. And so he ended up saying the first part of the week kind of sucked. He was kind of worried, but then towards the end here, he kind of pulled it off. I think last time he was out there till 12 or 1 o'clock working on bikes still. So he said he was pretty happy. He did a little better than he did last year, which is good. So it's good to have an increase, but of course everything's more expensive now. Because a lot of the vendors, Speed did that a couple years to us. They're like, man, we did really great numbers. We really made a lot more money. Then when he got home, he said, holy crap, it cost me twice as much to buy the parts back. So a lot of times you got to look, gas is more expensive. So you got to look at all that too. We're doing good. And
taste the other tea. Make sure you didn't need more sugar. So yeah, Ray's Moto Life. I thought of that last night. I was like, oh, we didn't meet. Hooray! So I wasn't sure where you were staying. I guess I should have texted you, but it gets kind of crazy when we're down here. So we missed you.
But we met a lot of YouTubers. Somebody said Adam Sandoval was down here. We never seen him anywhere. So I don't know if he was here or not.
I don't know. So a couple people asked, have you seen Adam?
So we didn't see him.
We didn't see him.
A couple people asked us if Nomadic Fanatic was down here.
I know he wasn't.
He had some issues with his camper, and if you're watching his channel, you already know he was in Vegas. I kind of when we left, I texted him and he was mad. He said a few choice words to me when I said we're on our way to Daytona, and we met up with him last year. Like somebody we watched for years, but we met a lot. I can't even read all the names off. Most of them will show up in the videos and stuff that we've done, and some of you have already seen some of the ones.
Well, Harley One Forever's on now. Dave's Crazy Trailer's on now. Yep. When Road Therapy Des is on.
Yep.
So yes, Des, we will when we go out to Destin and go to that McGuire's. They said you go ride with us. I'll ride my bike that day.
And we're trying to figure out how we're looking at. They make an adapter you can put inside the primary to make it shift easier. So I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, or if we're just going to get a recluse clutch pack for it. We did a video on that. She did a video. I haven't seen it yet. And we might get something from them to do her bike and mine, make it automatic. Nice is when you pull up in the traffic like that, you don't have to pull the clutch in. But I think you still have to, on her bike, you still have to shift it after first gear.
Which is fine.
Which is fine.
I don't mind shifting it. It's just
in the traffic.
You know, it would have been fine.
It's what it all goes back to is somebody rode in California. And what do you do in California? That's right. And do you split lanes?
I have.
Most of the time? None of the time? All the time.
Some of the time.
All of the time. And I did too. People say it's crazy, but I did a full bagger.
If we would have just been regular riding, it would have been fine. But when we came back from Destination Daytona,
yeah, it was backed up.
There, I mean, it was constant. And I'm like, I can't do this. And then my little thing where it tells me it's in neutral is like, I
told her she just has to feel for it. You let the clutch out a little bit, it'll pop it in the first. Then you lift it up a little bit, let the clutch out a little bit, and see if it's in neutral. You don't have to look for the light all the time. So she'll get used to that. It's been a while since she steadily rode a bike. We're going to go look at another one today, but we didn't get over there. I don't know if they would take what I was going to offer or not. They had a 2016 Fat Boy Low. I think it's black. And we'd have to get it repainted. And I was only going to offer them. They wanted 10.5 or something for it. I was going to offer them 8 for it. Out the door. They probably wouldn't do that. And you never know. We still got tomorrow. Maybe we'll call them tomorrow morning before we leave.
Good.
And run down there and see it.
So I know. Ray's Moto Life's on. We did never get to meet up with him.
Yep, sorry.
That was one guy I don't know. I don't remember. Were you guys down at Cackleberry with Cool Whip and all that? But they went to Crazy Horse, I guess, didn't they? Because we went to Crazy Horse a couple times, but Steven says he's going to YouTube. What are you going to YouTube on? All your adventures of the
dealership?
Harley dealership. Right now, SJS, we are still in Daytona. We leave tomorrow to go to
Orlando.
And we're at Twin Peaks Restaurant is where we're at.
So we pull out of here tomorrow sometime. We have a reserved spot, so there's really no real big thing. I want to be out of here at least by noon because I don't want to get in any traffic.
Right. rush hour
I don't know if we
traffic
take
out
the
there.
405. I don't know what we're taking. I haven't looked at the map.
Well, we're staying at the one on this side of Disney, so I think we get off before we hit Disney. I don't know.
We'll see.
Yes, that is true, Paulie P.
So all you YouTubers that were here, what did you think about the rally? Was it what you thought? Was it not what you thought? How many days were you here?
We had a rainstorm last night,
I think it
man.
was pretty bad.
Well,
It said it was
and
supposed to be high winds. I didn't hear no winds.
well, the rain woke me up. It was like just downpour, and I jumped up, and then I thought, "Holy cow!" And then it thundered and thundered and thundered. It was loud.
Yeah.
Haven't heard thunder like that in a long time.
But Florida, most of the stuff's pretty sandy. So like we don't really have any mud or anything where we're staying at.
I don't think it's live unless Eli's doing it, and it's probably happening right now, giving that bike away at the Iron Horse.
Yeah.
We were going to go to that, and I
but
said,
then
"Well,
we
you're going to do a live."
So I decided we'd rather do a live than to film that because you wouldn't see that till tomorrow anyway. I don't know if they have any. Well, Eli gets some kind of service there, but I mean, Daytona here, Florida in general, internet sucks. When you're trying to use your phone to use as a hotspot or whatever you're using, Florida for a big area has the worst service anywhere. And people are like, I don't understand. Why do you say that? We've been to LA, we've been to big cities up Nashville, all these different cities, and we never ever have any trouble. Sturgis, we even have good service in. That's another talk I want to talk about. I Googled it today. What is the biggest rally in the United States? Out of the 10 that I opened up, I got tired of looking at the 10. They all said the same thing, Sturgis. There is no comparison to this to Sturgis. Now, this is probably a second, I would say, for our rallies, but only Daytona Bike was not Biketoberfest. I don't know why they always consider this the largest. I don't know. They're about the same age because Sturgis now is on their 80th
largest on the East Coast.
Well, yeah.
I would say that. Well, because if you go to a Harley Davidson dealership, it'll say they're the biggest. Well, there's like 30 in the area.
The way they do it is one could be the biggest that has the biggest showroom, the biggest square footage of their lot, the biggest amount of salespeople. So it's like that. So what we noticed, which we won't say who told us this, but one of the officials that we talked to a couple years ago said, I can't believe Sturgis can even have any kind of rally when they only have 7,000 people and it's such a small town. We're so big here. And it's like, you have no idea. Sturgis area during the Black Hills and out to Custer State Park and going out to the Badlands, Devil's Tower. People are staying in 3 different states. Every city, every town has parking for motorcycles. I've never seen a business in South Dakota that closes because of Bike Week. Here we see them. We see them in Leesburg. We see them in Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach won't even let you drive cars.
When we went out to the land,
yeah, there were businesses there who locked the doors. And people don't realize that. I said that one year. We were in Leesburg. And I said
Trump is one of the biggest rallies.
Probably. But it ends up being that, like this one store that closed up, so little kids closed. You know how many grandparents are at the motorcycle rally? You know how much clothes we bought for our grandkids when we went to motorcycle events? Yep. They all had Harley coats. They all had shirts. They had all kinds of things, toys, everything that said Harley on it. And not saying that they just wouldn't pick up some normal clothes, but there's so many of these people think, bad bikers, they're going to come in and tear us up and they're going to shoot us. Now, speaking of that, I seen it was a lot more motorcycle clubs, a lot more 1%ers than I've ever seen in Daytona at one time. I just from me counting, I see 25 different clubs, 1%ers that were here this week. Now, I never noticed that many before, but some of them I never even heard of.
Yeah,
and
I've seen a lot too.
So,
and they weren't big groups.
Well, but we've seen
10, 15 of them together.
The Mongols were going down the highway. I seen. Can I get another glass of ice? And the Mongols going down the highway. There was probably, 50 of them, maybe more. I didn't count them. Because I had the camera up at first, and then after I figured out it was them, I put it down. I could have filmed them. It's not a big deal, but who wants to see everybody wearing the same thing, same cut? They all look kind of the same. So it's like I didn't shoot it any more of that. We don't really worry about filming the 1%ers. We know the rules that you do, and you can film them. You don't talk to them on camera. I talked to a couple of 1%ers this week while we were here.
The Mongols, Repping says their clubhouse is just off Main Street. The Mongols? I know the Outlaws are really big down here.
And see, you also have the Sons of Silence. They come down every year for their their guide trip. Because we know some of them. Oh, they said
Grizzly?
may end up being the president of the whole
Oh, really?
Sons of Speed. Wouldn't that be great? I don't know. I think he could probably get an interview from him since he's the president. You can't tell him not to talk.
Definitely not low party at Willie's Chopper Time show, but they're cool. Yeah, Willie always invites them. They're always I don't think he was ever an outlaw,
No, he says
but
he never was.
always hung out kind of with
Well,
them.
they came and got tattoos. He's one of the oldest, or he is the oldest tattoo shop in Daytona area. So he did a lot of the clubs. Well, that's where he got the reputation that he was a 1%er. He was never in a motorcycle club. That's from his mouth. He never did anything like that. He rode with a lot of different people, and he knew them all. He tattooed them all. And they'd come to his
He
place.
was close to them all. I mean, he hung out with them. He drank with them.
And so he was in that culture, but he never joined a club, never got a patch, never was a prospect. And but
to do that.
He's got that attitude that you would think he probably was. There's a lot of people that we have in some of the bar managers and stuff we know, some of the bar owners we know, they were actually in 1% clubs, and they got out and now they run a business or something. So, it just kind of depends. And like I said, we never had any trouble with anybody. We did get thrown out of Main Street Bar. I'll tell you a little story about Main Street Bar. It didn't surprise me that they did say something, but we were there with Twisted Tea. I should have told that guy, and he would have freaked out on him, but I didn't do that. And I just said, whatever, dude. Here's my card. Remember, we won't be telling anybody to come to Main Street Bar. And I didn't end up putting that video up. I should have. I'll do it next year because it's one of the bars I recommend not going to. If they're not going to be friendly, what are they hiding? But here's the problem was, in 2020, the city was very strict on the COVID.
What they had to do, rules and regulations.
And she was not allowed any permits for vendors. And she said, the hell with you, I'm putting my own vendors up. So that's where it all started. So in 2021, when we went and talked to her, she said, I really don't want anything filmed on the property because I don't want the city to see it. They're going to walk through your property anyway. They're going to send somebody down there. So you're not hiding anything.
Well, that first year, her dad saw it.
Yeah, and he was really nice.
And he grabbed the mic and he got our card and was saying, Bob and Tam's in the house. And before probably anybody ever really knew who you were, and did all that. And he was a really cool guy. Yeah. Unfortunately, he passed away. And Fiona, I think, is her name. I don't know. That may not be it, but it's close to it. Anyway, we've never really gotten to talk to her, I don't think, in person.
She's never there.
So we tried to reach out to her.
But we know some of the bartenders and stuff that work there and stuff. And
we did. Had a good time.
So we didn't spend a lot of time there. I was there. We were actually doing Twisted Tea, and I was looking for her because we were going to interview one more person from Twisted Tea. And so I was standing by the band, and I was filming it, which we don't play any band music anyway. And the guy taps me on the shoulder and says, "Can't film here." And I'm like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, here's one of my cards." I said, "You can pass it on and tell them they can eat. You can shove it." And I said, "We won't be back." And so he gave me the card back, and he said, "I'll show you who you can give the card to." Oh, some other guy at the gate when I was walking out. I said, "Just give this to her card and tell her she'll never, ever, ever get any advertising from us, and we'll make sure people know that that's the way they treated us." Because 99% of the places that we go to realize the power that we have. Reviewers are called influencers. So just like the places you buy your products from, a lot of times it's places we recommend. We're going to find out at Crazy Horse. I think we probably had a couple hundred people came into Crazy Horse this year because people that they came up and said, "Man, I'm staying at Crazy Horse because you guys showed that campground. It was so cool." And so I think we did a lot, and we don't get anything from that. We don't, we at this point, we don't get any compensation from anybody for what we do. We are looking at a couple sponsors to do small events and stuff that we're going to do. We just got done talking to somebody last night, and we may have that real soon, and we'll start doing some commercials on our regular videos of a plug. We did one last year for the toothpick guy. The toothpicks.
So we won't actually be home in Arizona until August after
Sturgis. So depending on how fast we leave Sturgis, will determine when we get home. Usually 3 or 4 days after that.
Good thing, Big Ben. How are you? Safe travel. Yeah. So from here, we'll be in the Florida area until the second week in.
Well, I got it down here. So our next event that we're going to be doing is going to be Leesburg. So it actually starts at Gator Harley on April 25th, but the city doesn't start till the 26th, which is Friday, and then 27th, 28th. Just to let you know, if you're, I guess it was the 90s, Sugar Ray's got a free concert there by the city's putting on Saturday night. So you can come down and see Sugar Ray for free. So that's kind of neat. So
that's cool.
So-
Someone else was saying when they came, they stayed. I don't know where they stayed, but they didn't stay any. It was 30 miles away from Daytona, and a lot of people do that. They'll stay out somewhere a little further out from the craziness. Some people stay up in St. Augustine's and everything like
There's some
that.
people that ride over. We had those people that came over from Tampa and rode all the way over here one day, rode back in the same day. So I'm not saying that they can't be, but what I'm saying is when you look at the numbers that I just quoted, you're looking at about 26,000 rooms that they have. So if you double that, be 50,000 people. First of all, not everybody in those hotels are motorcycles. When we drive by the hotel, some of the small ones out here got 2 or 3 bikes sitting out front, maybe a trailer sitting out there. So there's not a lot. I'll bet the hotel, unless there's like one time we had a motorcycle club book the whole hotel for their rally. That's possible. But most of the hotels, I would say, is no more than 50% is motorcycles. So if you even said it was 75%, I'm even saying it's 100%. You still aren't getting anywhere near 100,000 people staying here. So even if you said there's 10,000 people that are riding in every day, which is possible, and let's say there's a couple thousand that are staying in, which I don't know what, I'd have to Google and see what St. Augustine's has for rooms. But I mean, it's a smaller town. I'll bet you maybe 1,000 rooms if they have that many. But once again, we're not
Look at Eureka Springs.
Well, but that's different. Well, turn one of your phones. And, I mean, look.
Ah.
How many hotel rooms are in St. Augustine's, Florida? Let me put my eyeballs on. And they don't have any count. So apparently they don't have very many.
Brett Fink says outlaws take over most of the Plaza Hotel.
Yeah.
That where you stayed at one night, at one time? I don't know if that's where they stayed this year or not.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Doesn't really say.
Yeah, it's not saying.
Just got 141 on.
Good. I'm just looking at aside from St. Augustine's.
They just have them all listed. They don't have how many, a number, how many.
So we'll be nice and say they got 1,000 rooms. And go ahead and say maybe there's 5,000 rooms around the area. Add another 5,000 Airbnbs. Once again, it's all these rallies do the same thing. Sturgis does that, tries to say that last year they tried to say there was 75,000 less people than the 75th. Somebody there smoking dope. Because there is no way anybody that was there on the 75th and was there last year, there wasn't even 10% of the people that were there on the 75th. We weren't there. I've seen enough videos. I talked to enough people that it was just insane. And it's never been, years before we've been there and it's been really crowded. But since we've been going to Sturgis since 2019, every year in a row, we have not had a big crowd in Sturgis like we had the first few years we used to go to Sturgis. Main Street used to be backed up, or when you went down Junction and LaSalle was backed all the way up.
Walking your bike down the street.
And then when you went to the concert, it would take you 2 hours to go from Main Street to the Buffalo Chip, or in the Full Throttle where they used to be at.
Ride King thought the first weekend was busier than the second.
Well, I think this weekend was, but
I don't know.
That's my feeling.
They riding around. A lot of people, it seemed like. I was hoping to get back down there for Leesburg, but trying to work it out. Okay. Well, if you do, we'll definitely meet you somewhere. When is Leesburg? We just told you.
It's April 25th through the 28th.
Yeah, so
and Sugar Ray's there the 27th. Free concert. All the concerts that are in Leesburg are free, other than going out to, what's the campground we stay at? In Leesburg.
I know. I'm thinking Windy Acres.
Windy Acres. They do charge, if you're not camping there, they do charge you to come on the property at night.
Yeah. So we got to see Mon. She's in Orlando now. She said she's loving it. Neil asked if we got to see her. We saw her
I've seen you twice. 3 times. I've seen her before you did.
Yeah. So we saw her at Willie's Tropical Tattoo, and then we saw her downtown on Main Street. And we might go have dinner with her when we get to Orlando tomorrow, whenever their schedule allows. So we'll have to see. Sandy says here, Sidelines making a Guinness cake for tomorrow for St. Patrick's Day season. Is that what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's only the 11th. So we still got a few more days.
Well, in February.
St. Patrick's Day?
So it is in March.
It is. It's March.
Yeah, you said it's just a few more days. Where this is February still.
No, it's March 11th.
I'm surprised of being retired. Yeah, I'm sick too. I think I gotta feed
So
it.
Crap on the Crackers on. Hey guys, did you know you started at 6?
Yes, because I'm really tired. I'm sick,
And he
and
wants to go back home and go to bed.
I gotta get gas before we leave because it's a hell of a lot cheaper here probably than Orlando. So we gotta go to Bucky's one last time, and she's gonna go around and film the girls before we leave too. So we have some girls to show you. We're not showing them now because what said was kind of chaotic the last time we were here live with all the subscribers and everything here. So we're kind of keeping it a little lower key today. And some of the girls that were here last time aren't here. These are a whole different bunch of girls. Our normal girls that were here last Sunday aren't here. Which
Well, the
is
one
weird.
girl, I saw her coming in out of the bathroom. She's like, "Will you put me on when you come? Did you guys go live? How's the podcast going?" And I said, "We're not on until 6." So I don't know. She's the one that's at us. She's got the long hair. It's way past her butt. Is the main street the one with the pumps? It looks like an old gas station. There's Boot Hill, and it's right next to Boot Hill.
Yeah, Main Street Bar. It's the one that looks like a gas station.
Yeah. Two Wheels Traveling. Second weekend was definitely busier. They were both very busy. I couldn't say one over the other.
One, I think it's part of it because of Black Bike Week. You're bringing in a whole other group of people, which I don't know how many actually. We didn't go down over there. We usually drive through there, but with us being so hectic and me being sick on Friday night, we didn't get that. I didn't get the chance to go down there. I wanted to go down there on Friday night. We wanted to go out to the land. Oh, not the land, but we wanted to go out to Fast Lane.
Oh.
And we had some friends that went, some of our subscribers, and they took some pictures, and it was packed.
Well, Karen put up, if you go to our Facebook page, Karen put up a video of the burning bike, and you could see how many people's out.
And so our subscriber that was there, he was all the way in the back, and he didn't want to get close. And he shot, and there was 10,000, maybe more. There was a lot of people that were in the crowd there. So sorry we missed it.
It said M's Oil Adam got up to 15,000 subscribers.
Yeah, he did.
Cool.
We tried to meet up with him this week, but his granddaughter and stuff, kids are in town today, which I think he goes home after this. So I don't know why it's such a big thing.
I think they came down to help, and I think their son doesn't live, I think he lives in Jacksonville now. So I think this is like their whole family time together right now, not just, that's what I think. So anyway, they're having family time.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. We never really had too much time. I don't think I really filmed anything at his booth this year.
Indian 89 said that they stayed at Airbnb in St. Augustine.
Okay. I say there's a lot of Airbnbs. Actually, when I Googled it, there was more Airbnbs in the area than there is hotels. Now, we did find out a couple of years ago that there's a lot of those gated communities. Maybe they don't have a gate. They don't allow motorcycles in their community during bike week. And I always say, well, one of these days, Main Street's going to close down. They're talking about doing something to it. And they're like, it's never going to happen. Do you people ever come off of Main Street and drive down to like Ponce de Leon? If you look to the right, almost every one of those streets have a barricade up that says road closed. And if you go down that and the cops are down there, you automatically get a ticket if you don't live there. And those streets go straight through. You can go down to the other road. We drove through there the other day, cut through there, and you can run the other road parallel with the A1A. But if you go down, so they do that already. They're already closing streets down and not letting people. And this is the only rally that closes multiple streets down like this, not to allow bikes to go in the community, which is kind of weird. But
we went down there. Well, we didn't this year. Ride King said bike week was fun. And I think Bob had a sunstroke. I don't know. Well, no, because you didn't know it was March.
Oh.
Lots in St. Augustine, yes. Must be all you YouTubers went to Burning Man. We didn't go.
We didn't go, but there was a lot of them because the Badgers, they have a support group for YouTubers. We're in that group, but I was going to go early and we weren't going to stay. Actually, Burning Bike went really well. I think it was before 10 o'clock.
It was all over?
Which is a brand new record. One time we were out there, it was close to midnight, and last year was after midnight they got it going.
Well, so because I think it rained and the wood was all wet.
I don't want to be anywhere near that. Pour gasoline on it or kerosene. That sucker will blow up quick. You don't have to throw the burning torches on it.
I was going to say something else that they were all talking about before, and I forgot again. Karen says I got kicked out of there because me and my friend was painted and letting people buy us drinks and taking pictures. Got taken away. That guy I don't know. It's crazy.
I love the bars that we go to. Froggy's has never had any problems. Dirty Harry's has never had any problems.
I was going to talk about. We had a subscriber we met up with last night, and he said, I am never going to Buc-ee's again. It was packed.
I went on Saturday.
It was crazy.
You don't go to, this is, from what we're hearing from Buc-ee's, this is the busiest Buc-ee's in the United States. More cars, more people come in this Buc-ee's. When somebody was there Saturday night, this YouTuber or subscriber of ours, and when they were in there, like, wow, I can't believe the people there. And the lady at the register said, "Oh, this ain't nothing compared to what we normally are."
And he was like, "I'm not." It took him what? Did he say almost an hour to get just to get gas? And I don't think he had a trailer.
I think he was pulling a trailer.
Oh, was he?
He needed diesel.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, bye, Tony. Good night. And thanks for hanging out with us.
Crazy. And but I mean, I'm pretty happy with Daytona Bike Week here. I wish we would have got more stuff. We never made it to Cackleberry. We didn't get to. I wasn't gonna do small wrestling. I could put the video up from last year, and you would know. You would think it's the same freaking video. It's a lot of times it's the exact same girls every year do it. You're so far away from it. It's I don't know. That's the way they do it, and I'm okay with the way they do it. The
bikini contest?
No, I'm talking about the small wrestling.
Oh.
Because you're so far away from that.
You know, the girl that won the bikini bike, or the bikini.
Yeah, the Teddy Morris.
The same one that won last year.
Oh, is it? And so we got a bunch of good footage of that. I don't know what's going to show up here or if I'm going to put it on Patreon. If YouTube kind of flags it, it'll go over to YouTube. I mean, to Patreon. We do have some videos. We had a lot of girls that were painted up and stuff like that. We didn't do any wet teas this year. Dirty Harry's only did it at 5. When we were there, we missed it. And I thought they were going to do 3 times a day. Didn't make it to there. Eli went to the
Beaver Bar.
Mexi Philly. Beaver Bar had that Saturday night too.
Wet.
Oil wrestling. It was girls that came in, professional wrestler girls. And so I don't know. I didn't ask him this morning how that went. Also, the midget wrestling was yesterday. I would have loved to have seen that. You know, we always do a great. Same thing. I can put the video up from last time we were there. 2 years ago they had it. I can put that video up, and you probably think it's the same people. Midget wrestling is great. If you ever have an opportunity to see it, it is the funniest thing you've ever seen. And when I did it in Panama City a couple years ago, I think that was the first time we filmed it. And people were like, "You can put the whole video up for an hour, and we'll sit there and watch it all." Because he said it was so hilarious. And they're great performers. It's just funny as hell. And then when we were there at that one, they threw one of the little midget guys onto the table, and the guy was sitting there, flipped backwards and fell. And they stopped everything, and they're like, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" He got up and said, he looked at me and said, "Did you film that?" I said, "Well, I got some of that." I said, he's like, "I want to see it. Put it on your channel. I want to see me fall." And I only had a little bit of it because we don't normally want to show anybody getting hurt or anything like that in our videos. So I only had a little bit of him falling and getting back up. But it was if you've never seen midget wrestling.
So who put it up? Was it Eli that put up the oil wrestling? They said that they keep saying he put the video up.
So maybe Mexi Philly did.
Yeah. Hey, so who said that?
But we're also on Pating.
I know.
The Pating Nation.
Dan's on. Dan says, "Hi, I miss seeing and chatting with you too." So you were down here and we missed you?
You know what? You need to get on our Facebook page. I know some of you don't like Facebook, but we do. I try to put down there, like today we were at the Beaver Bar, said if anybody was down this way, stop in. We're having one last breakfast before we leave town. We were there from about 8:30 till, I don't know, what time did we leave? 10 o'clock?
For what?
From the Beaver Bar today. How late was we there?
Yeah, probably about 10.
So we were there a long time. So if you would have been in the town, you could have come over and seen it. Now, the problem that we have is a lot of people do this. Oh, we're over at the... Hey, there she is.
Hey,
we'll turn you around. Hang on, can't talk yet because I got a lapel mic.
Hey, guys. Missed ya.
So
she'll come around. We're going to get you guys on regular camera so we can put you on a regular video. And so you guys can say... Thank you for coming to Bike Week. Come see us next year or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes I don't even know what to say. I'm like, oh my God, I just wanted to say how you guys.
Well, we can always help you tell you things to say.
Right. Yeah.
I'm glad you were the other day when we were here. You were in the other section. I don't know if you've even seen us or not. We were pretty busy.
We were way back there in the back corner. We had like 8 of us were here.
Yeah, we had a whole room. We were waiting for you, but they had no idea where you were going to. Which is what you think somebody would have. They know what section you're going to work. I know. We're like, we want to do section. They said, well, that section nobody's sitting in. I said, we can sit there until whoever comes in takes it over. Right. We didn't want to be out in the middle. Some people panic when they see themselves on camera.
Yeah, maybe it was full or something. Yeah. I don't know.
I think they were short-staffed already when we came in that day. Oh, that was last Sunday. No, we came in during the week too.
Yeah, I don't remember what day it was.
All right.
All right.
Okay, well, I'll come back into you guys. I just wanted to come say.
Okay.
Alrighty.
It was last Sunday, I think. It was last Sunday.
So there's our favorite waitress back again.
Ellie.
I like her.
Yeah.
Hopefully she'll get her phone number.
Not working.
We're back when we come back next year. If she ain't working here, maybe we find out where she's working at. She's a really nice girl, very friendly.
Sorry.
A lot of the girls get freaked out when they see the camera. So that's kind of neat. I'm glad she stopped in. She likes to get on the camera. She says, I don't know what to say. I was like, we can give you lines to say.
I don't know. Neil says that Facebook doesn't update as fast enough to stay up with what you guys post. I don't know. I thought it always did it simultaneously. I don't know.
Well, it depends on it. Could be his servers are slow. He's up there in Alaska, so I don't know. But you're not down here. See, I'm saying if you're down here, like in Sturgis, you should be able to see it as soon as I post it if you update it. Because Facebook doesn't really have a notification like YouTube does. But I know YouTube screws up because sometimes I even get that. I'm notified a bunch of people their videos. And I don't watch anybody anymore because we're too busy doing this. So I only kind of thumb through people. They also said that cycle drag guy was down here. I never seen him anywhere.
Yeah, somebody asked if we saw him, and I said no. We see him at Meekum, and then
well, we seen him at a few rides. I think we seen him last Daytona here, and it's just he's always walking around. He only films everything on his phone. He's always holding it in his hand, and I thought he had some gear too. He does a really good job for just having a phone and holding it in his hand. I'm too jerky.
I got to see Adam the Blue. That was kind of cool.
Yeah,
and he had a regular camera now, but he didn't have his phone anymore. Unbelievable how Daytona changed. Closed bike beach down. I can't believe how much the city is going to lose.
Yeah, because BMW is moving now. We announced that the other day. Showed you where their new location is going to be.
We had heard a couple years ago that Indian.
Well, we found out now it's that ride more, ride now, whatever it is. The people that go to Sturgis, the ones that have Rumble on the dealership there, use bikes. Well, somebody told me they bought it. Well, they lied to us. They didn't buy it. We talked to that city, and the city of Sturgis said they didn't buy that property. It's still the same guy still owns it. They rented it. So they lied to me. We put that on camera. Can't believe all these guys when they come into town. But when we talk to the city, they kind of give us the truth. I got to go to the little boy's room.
All right.
Leave my microphone so you can't hear me in the bathroom. The music's really loud in the bathroom. I think they do that so in case somebody's in their park and you can't hear them. Shaky spot.
Can't take him nowhere. Your post at Sturgis is in a day or two later. I don't know. I don't know why, Neil. We tried to put it on our regular waitress, because Allie isn't our waitress right now. Her name her name tag says Britt, but I think Maddie is what she goes by. So I don't know why her name tag says Britt for Brittany. I don't know. So we'll have to see. There was a couple. Oh yeah, her name was Dakota. I know who you're talking about. She was very cute, and I haven't seen her tonight, so I don't know where she is. Two Wheel Travels, Bob and Tam, are you guys going to Milwaukee this year? Probably not, because it's the weekend before Sturgis. So we're going to be out in Sturgis on June 10th. So we're probably not going to go to Milwaukee, even though I would really like to, because the whole rally is going to be a dedication to the life of Willie G. So I would love to go see that, but I think the weekend that Milwaukee is going to be the same exact weekend as opening weekend. The pre-weekend. So I have to go. My phone is dead. Okay, Karen, see you later. Catch you later, Karen. He was on Main Street a lot, then Cackleberry. Oh, Cycle Drag. Cycle Drag hangs out on Main Street most of every night and day. We were on Main Street several times, but there's so many people. You two travel safe. All right, bye, Dan. Nice talking to you. Thanks for hanging out. And sorry you didn't get to make it. Steven, you said run to Carso Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Largest in the country, across the street from my church. Parking lot just made $19,000. Wow, that's awesome. Lots of bikes. That's pretty cool. Steven, that's up in Myrtle Beach. So I think too many people think Main Street is the rally, and there's so much more to do. There is. And it is. Daytona is very stretched out because you got Tackleberry and the Cabbage Patch. You got tons of speeds out there. You got DeLand. Then you got Destination Daytona. You got the Speedway. So there is a lot going on. And then all the little bars, Iron Horse, Broken Spoke, Fever Bar, all the bars down Main Street and all over. I mean, First Turn, North Turn, they all got stuff going on. So it's crazy. So he's on here. I saw a couple of cycles ads. Yep. I didn't see any of his up yet. And like I said, we usually run into him somewhere along the line. We cross paths, but I didn't see him down here. Damn, a direct post to me came in, but a bit faster. When Bob comes back, tell him it's April. he'll never know. Really. He said he was in Daytona. I'm sure he was down here, but we just didn't run across him. You can do Milwaukee and then drive straight. You'd be at Sturgis, but fly to Milwaukee and rent a bike should be faster. He thought about that, but we'll have to see how that goes. Fire County, all Port Orange. That's where we stay when we're down here is in Port Orange. So that it's not too far from the Speedway because we go down Clyde Morris and it's a couple miles. So we're on a podcast. Can we introduce you? All right.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Tell everybody your name. Oh, sorry.
You got the microphone on you. Now say it again.
Hi, my name's Britt. How you guys doing?
Do you normally work the evening shift?
I do. I'm usually a bartender here at Twin Peaks, but tonight I picked up a little server shift, so I'm happy to meet you guys.
All right.
What are you guys podcasting about?
We are a motorcycle channel.
Oh,
So we covered the rally. This is the third time we've been in. So this is wrapping up the rally. We'll talk about what's going on and what we thought about the rally. This year seemed a lot busier than last year. That's my feeling.
oh, it was
And,
but that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
and sometimes you
Like
get
lots
more
of tips, huh?
and kind of like a holiday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I just saw the thing about the burning bike.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I've never heard of
Oh yeah, they've been doing it for years.
Yeah,
It's always
On Friday night.
And I was right around there. Like, oh,
I'll do another iced tea, lots of ice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
All
Now,
right.
that was great. That was our waitress. I was saying that I think they were talking about Dakota. Remember, she said she was
Oh,
going to be off for Bike Week. Rowan said that was his favorite waitress from last time, the first
Yeah, so
time.
that was the very first time we were
What
on.
are y'all going to do now? So we kind of whole out and do a whole lot of nothing.
Because it took us, not counting places that we stayed, it cost us $1,000 in gas to get
Oh.
here. About 2,400 miles.
Just Ride the Peace wanted to know if we got to go to Bill's trailer sale.
Yes.
Can't wait to see the photo.
Actually, somebody wrote back and said they already bought that trailer. They bought one from him.
Okay.
And so the only one I filmed is they did have one set up.
I
They
did.
had one folded down. And it ended up being, we knew the guy that was the salesman. Bill never talked to us. He didn't like to go on the camera. So we filmed some stuff at Bill's, but
Now, who was the guy you talked to? You said it was somebody we knew.
1%er. We might not say who he is. Who did we just talk about a few minutes ago?
Okay, him.
It was
Okay.
his brother.
Oh, okay. I know you said it was somebody you talked to, and I'm like,
his
I
brother.
couldn't remember who. Okay.
And, so,
Yes, and Race Mobile. I was talking about all the stuff doing in Daytona, and there's almost a bike show every single day.
some more than one.
Sometimes more than one.
So yeah, there's a
Dale said
lot
I
of
would.
bike shows. And that's one of the things. I want to really say about Daytona, which makes Daytona better than any other rally, even Sturgis, is the vintage bikes and the choppers. These guys that come in, a lot of them, I'd probably say, which I did find some that don't ride the bike in, they trailer it in, and then they kind of push it in. So probably about 90% of the bikes that are at bike shows are ridden into the bike show. And that's just great, especially for the classic bikes. To be able to see some of these bikes, like we talked to a guy that when he started building the bike, all he had was a rusty fender. And I think, I don't know if that one's already came up or not, but we'll bring it up again. But I mean, that guy already, for this rusty old bike, he was offered last week $15,000, and he's like, nope. He said, I've sold a lot of bikes, but this one I built with my blood, sweat, and tears. And he said, I'll never sell it. And he said, it's just an old bike. It's all old parts. They're all rusty and stuff. And he rides it every single day. And that's the one thing that you don't see anywhere, any other bike show we've ever been to.
Even in Sturgis.
No matter where it's at. We've been to Laconia, we've been to Mexico, we've been to California, and no other bike shows. And it's just not Willie's. You know, over at Giuseppe's Pizza, they had some great bikes there. One show I didn't get to spend a lot of time with, which we'll go next time, is at the fairground or at the Speedway. They had a vintage chopper show. I got a lot of pictures of it, but they had some games. Jojo, which is the co-owner with his dad, owns Giuseppe's. He won the kickstarting, and he was down to the last bike, and the guy couldn't get his started. And so he's like, okay, I got to get it. If I get it now, I won. And kicked it and it fired right up. And he's like, he was efficient. He won 2 years in a row. So I got that on video. And so it's really neat. I got to talk to him afterwards on that. Jojo's a great guy. He owns Giuseppe's. And that's one of the things that we, you know, this year, just like the Sons of Speeds. You know, when we started just 3 years ago doing this, almost 4 years ago now, we were the only YouTuber down there. You know, there was Thunder Press and Cycle Source, magazines like that down there. But we were the only YouTuber there was probably at least 20 other YouTubers down there this year filming what we started doing. Which is there's not a problem with that, but it's very funny how we kind of started some of this stuff and people have kind of jumped on to what we do, because a lot of people never put videos out during the rally. That's what we started doing, because we wanted to show you, hey, what's going on here. Try to give
Especially
you,
if you're down here, so you know what's going on.
and now you see a lot more people starting to put videos out while they're still here to show you what they're doing or fun or whatever they're doing. But it's funny how, I don't know if we kind of started that idea. I don't know, but I don't know.
Steven says he wants to take us to Jimmy Buffett's sister's restaurant in North Myrtle.
Oh, that's kind of neat. I didn't know he had a sister.
Yep. So, well, he said he'd take us.
Do you know her? It'd be great for her to tell a story about Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
I would love that. That would be a great honor for me. Because like I say, we watched.
We wouldn't consider ourselves parrot heads, but we were big.
Probably back in the 90s, I guess, or was it 2000? I guess 2000. We started going to see Jimmy Buffett.
I forgot all about your teeth.
I know.
Put her on camera.
Starstruck. Put the cup out there. But yeah, so but I noticed that now this year, there's a lot of YouTubers out here filming every day. Now, some of them could be just people that are filming on their own.
For
no
themselves.
Big deal. We seen one professional guy came out. He even had the 107 on the back of his shirt that knew he had a license to fly his drone. And we don't have our license yet, so we don't do a lot of drone flying yet. She was trying to get it. Maybe this fall we get home, I'll sit down and get the test, and I'll have the license. Because then you can get permission. There's still things you can't, like he did. He flew it up at the beach and shot down. He didn't fly because you can't. People that are down there flying over crowds, that's against the law. You'll go to prison, and it's under the federal laws. And there's actually a cop in Daytona. Now you can track people. If I was flying my drone, you can download an app and know exactly where I'm standing at and controlling it. So it's easy now to track people down if they don't have and if you're doing it on YouTube, you're making money. So that's the issue that you run into, where we don't really do much with it. Some of the footage I send up is stuff that an owner has given me permission to film. Over at we did Cabbage Patch this year, and he's like, yeah, go ahead, you can fly it over me. But I mean, it's a sketchy rule to where I am making some money on the video. So I don't know.
David said, asked if we saw the Red Bull drone flies faster than F1 car. An F1 car?
There's a lot of them. When we were in Buffalo Chip last year, those kids with the drones there that were following the stunt cars were really good. They were right on those cars. I don't know how they never ran into the car. They were right in front or right behind it. They must know exactly how they're going to maneuver the car to keep the drone right with it. But they were really good. I didn't know who it was. Then I found out it was the stunt team that was running the drones.
So they said Cycle Source invites a professional monkey. That's why he goes there. So we saw him. I got videotape of them coming in.
The monkey invited him?
No, Cycle Source invited Professional Monkey because they're best friends. That's why he was there. At Willie's.
Oh, he's been going to that the last couple of years anyway. And he's been going to Willie. He started, I think, last year is when he was at Willie's the first time. And he was going to bring his new Sportster that he had, but it broke down.
Sucker for green eyes. They're all talking about the girls.
And so, yeah, I don't have a problem with Monkey. Monkey doesn't do what we do. He's totally different. He doesn't really, I don't know if he even did he put a video up on?
He did. Oh, on Willie's? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if he did or not.
I know he's put up.
I seen him when he first got there, and I kind of talked to him a little bit on his, and I didn't put that video up yet. A little bit about his
bike.
bike.
I asked him because I always ask, well, tell me a little bit about your bike. And he says, it's a piece of beep.
And that's about all he said. And I don't know where he was at the rest of the time. He must have found a table someplace and sat.
Well, he was back there by us. He was standing there talking to a bunch of people.
I never seen him after that. When they first pulled the bikes in, I never seen him again. And he said he kind of brought his bike just because Anna brought her bike. And he didn't want to, and all the money goes to charity. I would love to bring my chopper next year. We did talk to
Beats?
No, the people that do it.
Oh, Dark Horse.
Dark Horse. They're going to do my heads for me. I'm not, I can drill them myself. I can put the tap in and all that. I just don't want to do that. If you screw it up, I don't know how hard it is to find the parts. If I have them do it, it'll be done right. And so I told them when we get back in August, I'll pull the two heads off and I'll mail them to them. They can put the pressure relief valves in both of those. I'll check compression first because everybody's always asked what was the compression to start with, and I'll check all that beforehand.
How do you check that without digital gauges?
You hook a compression gauge to the engine. It's a gauge. That's how you
Like
check
a
compression.
meter?
No, it's you take the spark plug out, you screw this little guy in there, and he's got a little cable on it, a hose. It hooks to a ground gauge, and it's called a compression gauge.
Is that what he showed us?
No,
Andrew?
that was a mic for miking your tolerances on your
With
cams
that
and
little
stuff.
thing on the end?
Yes, that was a mic. She don't work on cars. I've had compression gauges all my life. I did buy one now. When I got out of being a mechanic, I got rid of all my tools. Now I'm building them all back up again. But I got a compression gauge.
Lots of it for me too. I guess they're talking about what kind of girls they want. That's what they're all talking
What kind
about.
of girls they want?
They like green eyes, Rowan and
They used to have, what was that girl we had in high school that had green eyes? Brian used to always talk about her. It was a girl they used to pick up and go to school. I don't know. They used to say something. They used to say something about him. I don't remember what it was.
I mean, Sons of Speed Race.
She was blonde and green. And but I mean, it's. I'm not saying anything about Monkey. I mean, I'm just saying about a lot of YouTubers are out now doing all this stuff. Monkey's been going to these rallies way before I ever did. I don't know what he filmed in the past. I don't go back and look at Monkeys, so I'm not really going to say he's anybody that's copied what we do. So I'm not saying that, but I'm saying about a lot of these other YouTubers that are there that I never seen before, and now magically they're here. And a lot of you that are on here now, I'm not counting any of you. I'm talking about people I don't know. I don't know where they came from. And I see some of the videos coming up with 20 videos, 20 people watching it and stuff. And the problem with this is it gets too saturated. We didn't get the views that I thought we would get either, but I got a lot of really great content after this. This year, we're trying not to show girls as thumbnails. I don't want to be that guy that the only reason you're watching our channel is to see the girls that we run around with. We do get some of those that are in the video. This last one with Tam, that we got the bikini girls cleaning the bike, so that was in there, but it was nowhere in the beginning. So if you clicked out, you missed it. And so we're kind of putting them towards the end because it's just something to see. We probably should say that at the beginning that, hey, hang around to the end and you'll see some bikini models or whatever is in the show, in the video. But we got all the typical bar girls and all that everybody else gets. But I was like, how many times do you want to see Karen? She's always the one right there in Froggies. We got her a dozen times with video, and we love her. She's been really nice to us. But the same thing. I think I was the first one that ever started putting her on videos. Now everybody's got her on videos. And that's okay. But I don't want to be that everybody person. So I'm not doing that anymore. We'll put some girls on there. A lot of these girls we'll put on our Patreon channel. You'll see them shaking their butts and all the stuff that they do. But we're not going to put it on our regular channel. One, because if you put too much of that, you find out like Adam. He had a video the other day he didn't get paid for. Had 10,000 views. He didn't make a penny on it because he put too many girls on there. That's the way it is. If you take that choice, you got that gamble. We haven't been yellow flagged probably close to a year.
Probably since Daytona, was it last year?
Yeah.
For the fall wrestling? Or was it 2 years ago? I don't remember. I know they're talking about going to the spring fling. XN Biker says he'll see us there.
Well, we still haven't heard back from them. They were supposed to come to town on Wednesday. Never heard from him.
I texted him. I said, let me know, Jeff, when you get to town.
So we'll get a hold of him next week and see what he might want to do. Maybe we'll find some cheap airplane tickets to be worth. Maybe we'll pay to go to it, and then he puts everything else. I don't know. But there's a very good chance we'll be back here for Oktoberfest. We already got a couple of people from the city that is interested in getting us here for that 4-day rally. Not Teddy, other businesses. So very good chance we'll be back here for the fall rally. Now I got to look at that and see if that overlaps Ocean City or Bikes, Wings, and Barbecue.
I'm hoping by next year, too. A lot of you are saying thanks for the info. We're probably only going to put it up on Facebook, and then I'm going to try to get the website going to where you can, if you go to our website, it'll have a list of the daily activities on the website.
But somebody else said we should probably put it into membership and on Patreons, so those people can see it. So maybe what's happening is I found out, and this happened to us last year, same time during Daytona, that if we put too many things out, YouTube gets confused and they don't push my video later on in the day.
Many videos? Because if we do a short and we do a live and then we do the video and then I talk about the daily events, YouTube is like, wait a minute.
They don't know what to push. So, and then a lot of you may not know. You might say, okay, there's Bob and Tam's video. It's just Tam talking. Okay, I'm done for the day. and you're not seeing the regular video that I put out.
What do you think I would hug it to myself? the yep.
Because like there were some new people that came. Ozark Rider was here, riding the Ozarks, and he's a friend of ours. He reached out to us the very first time we met him in the Ozarks and welcomed us into town and stuff. And I have no problem with him coming. Once again, he's not shooting anything while he's here.
Yeah.
He's going to put his videos up as he gets home. Yeah, I mean, he's not doing anything while he's here.
Right.
He put a bunch of stuff on his Facebook page, telling them what he was doing and stuff. But him and his wife were here, and they're great people. We sat and talked to them a couple of times while they were here. And so he's not one of the ones trying to do what we do every day. And most people don't. There's nobody out here that's going to do what we do every day, because if you paid to come here, you paid $1,500 for a room or a campsite or something like that, and you're come here to drink and have a good time. You're not going to have time to do what we do. We get up at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're gone all day. And some nights I was up till 1 o'clock editing videos. Here, Adam talks about that, but he's doing a business too. So he's doing his business, and then he goes out and tries to get his videos, and he's doing a lot.
Yes.
But he's getting a lot of views and stuff. But I don't know if they're only coming to him because of he's flashing the girls. Not flash, but chasing them down and filming them. I don't know. I don't really know his numbers, because somebody could have 1 million views, but if they're only watching 10 seconds, I can have a video that's 30 minutes long with 500,000 people watch it and make way more than that person, because they watch it all the way through because there wasn't enough commercials to pay for it.
Huh. So most of them are just talking to themselves. They're talking about the spring fling. They're talking about Sturgis. They're talking about the girls.
Still got a good crowd. Appreciate everybody coming out tonight.
Thanks.
Best live we've had in a while.
Yep.
And we do appreciate that. And
there's Robert Armstrong
talking about so tonight what we kind of went over is what we thought about the numbers of here this year. One thing when we talk about numbers, there is no way humanly possible that anybody could ever count who comes to a motorcycle rally. Sturgis, there was talk the other day about Sturgis, and they did this last year. They paid a company to ping phones, and they're not weighing the trash anymore. They're not doing the rubber bands. Now, the county does the rubber bands. That never was the city that put the bands out. That's the county's county. But they're also counting the highway, because the highway runs through Sturgis. So, when I look out there, there's 30 to 60,000 cars a day average on the highway out there, the 90. So
there's 7,000 people live in town, and if they drive back and forth to work, that's maybe 2 people per house and twice a day.
Phones and I don't know how accurate all this stuff is. They sell it. There's somebody selling them all this crap. But the whole idea is, if you really understand this, they're going to probably say there was 500,000 people here. Why? If they told you there was only 50,000 people come, are you going to pay more next year for that motel room or that campground? Or is the vendors going to pay more for their spots? No. But if they say we were 500,000 people here, well, to have access to 500,000 people, they're going to charge more for the room. Most hotels, I don't know any hotel that was sold out. Now, Hard Rock probably was, but they're pretty exclusive type of clients.
Not very big. I think they've only got like 90 rooms, I think.
And so I didn't see any hotel that was overly saturated with bikes. Now, Plaza could be because they had the underground parking garage. So I didn't go down there and see what the bikes are. But I know the Outlaws have stayed there. But I mean, I don't know if they're buying out the hotel, because is the Rat Big that was there? Stayed there, and he wasn't an outlaw, and he got a room there. He won't go there again, but he got a room there then. So, when you look at this, and that's the difference between us, is we're here to have a good time, but we have a good time giving you the great information that we do, the people that we talk to. It was just like if you watched my live the other day from Willie's, and what ended up happening to that is it wasn't a live. It was I ran through with a camera and I shot, and we had no signal. So that's why I put it up as a live, because it was live to me. And but you mean there was like 10 people go by and say, "Hey, Mom, thanks for filming, thanks for doing this." And so we have a lot of subscribers. Everybody keeps saying this is going to be our big year. But we're not off to a good start. I actually made about $300 more last year at this point than I did. And for us, with the little bit of money we make, isn't a big. We're not going to talk about money. We're not complaining about anything. We're looking for sponsors now, but we're not looking for, I don't want Harley Davidson sponsors. I don't want somebody that will tell us we can't go to the Indian dealer. I can't go to the BMW dealer. We don't do a lot of coverage with them because they ain't got a lot going on. But this year, even Teddy Morris and the Indian dealer, they still got a crap load of bikes. If they had 500 when they started, looks like they got about 499 still left. Their tents are full. The showroom is full. I don't know if we do know a couple people that work there. We'll try to see if we get some numbers of what they sold, but they're not doing like Sturgis does, where they put the numbers up there. And that's new and used. But I didn't see it. I know they sold bikes. They probably sold a dozen or more every day. I've seen a few go through, so I'm just guessing that many. But if they didn't sell those 600 or 800 that Sturgis Black Hills Harley did, or the Indian dealer sells. So like you can see the floor. You go back to our videos for Black Hills Harley, and there's like a handful of bikes left at the end of the rally.
Yeah.
And that they even sold all the trade-ins that they had coming in too. So they really do a good job, and they don't pressure people. That's what we look at. And I didn't see anything at Teddy's this year about pressuring to new management, new owners, how they're going to sell. I don't know. Bikes weren't cheap. They over at Teddy Morris's, they sell them at Beaumont store, Cowboys. They sell them at MSRP. Here, they're not selling them as MSRP. They're doing work to them. They're putting stripes on them. They're changing the exhaust, the air cleaners, stuff to add money to it. Yeah, stuff to add price to it. But what happens with that is when you buy a bike like that, that bike is still only worth what MSRP was. Because if you like I've done, I've spent $10,000 or $15,000 on bikes that I've had in the past. You trade it in, they don't give you that $10,000 or $15,000 that you did to that bike.
That you dumped into it.
If you had a 107 on your motor and now you got a 131, they're still only going to give you the price of a 107 or a 103 or a 98, whatever you had. That's all they're going to give you, because they don't give you they look at the book. The book don't allow for any of that stuff. Now, if you're selling it outright, it's a different story, but I'm saying trading in. Yeah. But there's too many people that get to where you bought the extended warranty, you bought the gap insurance, you bought all this stuff, and you're $10,000 to $15,000 over MSRP by the time you walk out of the dealership. You're upside down. You're going to have to keep that bike till it's paid off. If you keep it 2 or 3 years, you're still going to be upside down in that bike, unless you put a good chunk of money down. And we always tell everybody, if you want to buy a bike, contact us. We'll tell you some dealers. There's quite a few of them in the United States that sell us MSRP. First of all, you need to educate yourself. Get on the website and see what the bike is. Then when you go in there and talk, and you're like, okay, what did you do for this price? Like you go to Teddy's. Okay, which is funny about their bikes, which we don't film the prices. But they had a bike that said starting at $23,000. What do you mean starting at 23? Is that MSRP, or what does it mean by that starting? I don't know if anybody bought a bike. They can say what that meant, but I've never seen that.
Probably, maybe if that's MSRP, and then they put the new seat on it, they put the new paint job on it, they put all this extra stuff on it.
There was none that was two the same.
No, they weren't.
So that was really weird. So I didn't really understand that. But you want to sit down and see. So like, let's say they did put a seat on. They did a really custom seat, and you like that, and they're charging $1,000 more for that seat. Well, then you can make a decision and say, okay, I like that seat, and it's worth it to me, because if I was going to go out and buy the bike, I'm going to probably dump $1,000 into that seat. Okay, so that's a good decision that you make. You look at the pinstriping. You can call Dan Kite up, and you can see kind of what he charges to do it. Roach does most of their pinstriping when he's there. I don't know if he did it this year or not. We're not as tied in with the dealership as we were with Shelly.
So he said this was the last year for the Sportster. Even the Nightster, the Night Sportster, whatever.
Doesn't matter. The Sportster now isn't a Sportster.
Not the same. Not like the one I got.
Is the worst thing Harley Davidson did, because now they're going to get out to where a bike's going to be $18,000 to $20,000 for an entry level bike. It's just not Harley. It's Indian, Honda, all these people. In less than 10 years, they're all going to be in a world of hurts. We're going to die. And the reason we have baggers and we spend all this money on bikes is because every one of you probably had a car when you were in high school. I had one. I jacked it up. I put white tires on it. I put headers on it. I put glass packs out the side.
You redid the whole
Put a new motor in it. Yeah, I redid the whole car. But I did that because I was a kid and I wanted that. Put a big stereo in my car. Well, back then you didn't have much. I had the speaker that looked like an angle.
So you didn't have like the big bass stuff.
No. But I had an amp and stuff in my car. And so you did all that. Well, we're doing the same things with our Harleys that we have. Well, you look at the kids today. What are they doing? They put a big old giant spoiler on the back. They put a stupid muffler that sounds like a bunch of bees buzzing around there, or a weed whacker. I always wanted to do that to somebody. Hop on the back of my motorcycle. Put your girlfriend in the car and drive up the road and have her step on the gas so you can hear what this crap sounds like behind you. You probably would stop doing that. It's like, it's ignoring, and you're a moron. But they think it's because it sounds good in the car. And so that's why with exhaust, it's hard to say unless you're behind that person. A lot of people get behind my bike and they're like, man, I love the sound of your bike. Well, I've heard these pipes on motorcycles before I bought them. So I knew we're going to listen to some Cobras, and I'm kind of thinking about maybe trying some Cobras out. I don't want the neighbor haters, but I like a deep tone, and I don't want it super loud. She's gonna get new mufflers on hers. Hers is too quiet. She likes them loud. Her bike almost had straight pipes on it. The first Sportster.
My first Sportster was really loud.
And,
My Fat Boy wasn't.
No,
I don't
that's why she got hit.
It was too dark a color, and the pipes weren't loud. Loud pipes save lives.
And even the police chief said the same thing too. But running down Main Street, cranking it all the way up, isn't saving your life. You're probably hurting somebody's eardrums.
Yes.
So, which I've done. I've been on the highway and somebody was splitting lanes. Somebody starts coming over and you rev it up. You rev it up before you. That's quicker to do that than to hit the horn. And then they usually hear you. And then they fly over the other side of the road. Some do, some don't. Some are assholes. That's a whole other story. Maybe we'll do a video on splitting lanes. Take my bike over to California and we'll talk about splitting. Maybe I'll put a intercom in my helmet and I'll do my first video of talking about splitting lanes. I'm really good at it. I can do it with a bagger. I did it with my bagger all the time.
You didn't like it last time we were out there.
I know the people are nuts. But I guess because I didn't get used to it. On that Sportster, it is fun as hell on a Sportster because it's fast. You know, if somebody starts coming over, you can open that sucker up. You're around him like a bug and rug. Rug in the bug. I don't know. That's snug as a bug. So
Like
that's pretty. So we're talking about Daytona. We're not talking about California. But so everybody's coming along. We're going to leave it here till next week, about a week from now. Probably not this week, coming up in the following. Because we got some people we need to meet with. George Cigar wants to go out and have talk with us. We got to get a banner from one of the vendors that we have. Got a couple banners we need to pick up.
Yeah, JoJo.
To get from some of our vendors that promised us banners. Last 2 years said they got them, but we just keep missing them when they get them. So we're probably going to come back in 2 weeks, and then I'll get her tire replaced. We're getting a crash bar for her bike. She likes that. That way, if she pulls it or does drop it, it's a little easier to pick it up because it's already halfway up. Yeah. And so that makes it nicer. And it is lighter. I almost dropped it today on the jack. I was kind of holding it. Like, whoa! Would have fell into his toolbox, but I caught it. And it's a little tough by yourself working a floor jack. And so
I was doing laundry.
Yeah, you're doing laundry today. Sunday laundry.
Yeah. Now after this, I got to go back and make the bed and put all the clothes away, fold all my shirts because he said just fold them in half.
It's hard to stand them there.
Well, I didn't call you and tell you to come pick me up.
No, but I just thought by now you should be done. I put 2 sets of shocks on her bike. I put the foot pegs on in the back, rear pegs, and I didn't drill the thing out yet because I was going to ask him if he had a drill press so I could drill it nice and straight. But I want to take the cover off and see if I can run a chrome screw through all the way through it. Instead of screwing a screw into the metal, if I could put a machine screw through it and put a castle nut on the end, would be a lot better. It'd never come off.
So you're gonna?
I think the cover, because it's got a zipper on it, so I think the cover comes off.
Oh, okay.
I've seen a zipper.
I did too. I don't know why
let's see. We'll have to look at it.
Where are you guys now? We're still in Daytona and we're at Twin Peaks is where we're at. If you had been here earlier, you could have seen some of the other girls. She's
going to go around before we leave tonight. She's going to get some interviews with some of the girls, and we're going to put them in some of our videos. Because sometimes the internet's not the greatest here. They have really good service, but sometimes when you walk around, it doesn't. I seen the monkey the other day when he was out in Shackleberry.
Well, I think when we were on Main Street a couple years ago, he did that. It was really good. What I say? Yeah, when we were like Peanut George's and we were just sitting there, it was fine. But when we got up and when he walked up and down Main Street, everybody was saying, "Oh, it's horrible! It's horrible! It's horrible!" So I was going to tell you, Hendra and Rowan. I saw Melon, and she is from Sydney, Australia. I don't know where you guys are from, and I'm sure Sydney is a gigantic city too. But anyway, so there's Hemorrhoid. How are you doing? Is there any people that don't drive like nuts? I don't think so. My worst is Chicago, Minneapolis, then Ohio, and bigger cities, and Detroit. We've never really driven downtown New York. We've driven through New York. We've been around the outskirts of New York City, but not in New York City. Yes, Chicago is nuts. We used to live up there, and if people wanted to cross the street or across in another lane, didn't turn on a blinker or nothing, they just got over it. So if you were in their way, so be it. We still think, well, Florida's nuts because when you're on the highway, there's people going 30 miles an hour and there's people going 90 miles an hour. So you got to kind of judge all that. People darting in and out of traffic, people putting along in the fast lane, and it's crazy. So yes, I don't think there's really any place where there's decent driving unless you're out like in the boonies and you're on an old country road and there's no traffic. Then you're good. Around here, everybody has loud trucks, so you can't even hear the bikes. Yeah, we're still doing good. You want to say hi? There's a few new people on. They didn't get to see you.
Sure.
So here.
Hello, how's it going? Look.
Oh, there's
Friends. This is so fun.
yeah.
Just seeing how it looks.
They wanted to know what color your eyes were.
My eyes are a greenish bluish.
Oh, they were talking about green eyes.
Yep.
There you go. Blonde hair and green eyes, guys.
Come to Twin Peaks. Come see me.
All right. Okay. Thanks. So there you go. She says she's got blue-green eyes. So not totally green, but it's a start for you guys. Neil and Rowan. That is where I'm at now. Ballarat. Is that in Australia? I don't know Australia. I know where Australia is. I don't know. I know Sydney, and that's not the only city I know in Australia. Who's going to ride on the back of TAM'S bike? Notice the passenger seat. Well, he's thinking when we get to like Sturgis and we got to do some zipping around town, and so taking his big old dresser, we'll just ride on the Sportster, and then that way we can get around. And so I'll be riding on the back of my bike when he's driving it.
It sucks to be sick. The beer is 28.2.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't think I could do a beer. Tornado 401. I don't know what that means. Well, and where are you at? Steve says hi. Let's get them all. Rowan said, there you go. I asked her what color her eyes were. She said a blue-green. So now they're talking about that. Maybe I will turn her into my slave for the Neil says, good luck. I think Neil tried that a few times out in Sturgis.
You look at girls like this, they probably get propositioned every day. Somebody probably hits on them. A lot of them probably got boyfriends.
Some are probably married. You never know.
And so most of the time, people, not
give
saying
us
you
a
couldn't get lucky with some of the girls, but don't know.
I know.
Some of them are college girls.
There's Ginger, Joe Moto.
The girl that's our waitress, she probably has something she does during the day, goes to school or something, but she only works nights.
Yeah. So he says, hi, how you doing? We got to meet him, met up with him. Trixie Blue's on. Robert Armstrong. I had Bassini Pro Streets on the 99 Sporty I had. I liked them. So Steven said he's got these pipes on there too. Bassani. Bassini.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Hello. Sorry we didn't get met with you. I thought we met you.
Who?
That Ginger Joe Moto. Sorry we didn't get met with you, but we'll get a chance down the road at the next rally or another rally. All right.
We ended up not really doing a meet and greet. We had the one we were going to do the Beaver Bar last Sunday, but because of the rain, nobody really showed up. So we really didn't. We were going to go out with the Badgers, but I got sick, so we didn't go out on Friday night. So we really didn't set up a meet and greet. We usually end up saying most of the time we're in so many places. The odds are if you stay long enough in a place, we'll probably show up.
Yeah.
But like I say, there's some places we didn't make it to. We didn't make it to Cackleberry. We didn't make it to. But a lot of times, if you email us, we'll send you our phone number, and then you can text us. Don't call us, text us, and say, hey, don't always email me because when we get ready to the rally, sometimes I don't check my emails every day. I had one the other day that was before the Daytona and said, bam, can I meet up with you guys before the rally? And I'm like, oh, crap, the rally's almost over, and I just looked at it. Sorry, I don't look at because we're not doing our normal stuff. When I'm at home or we're not doing a rally, I check my emails several times throughout the day so I can see the emails and I can answer them or tell her that she needs to answer it or whatever. Because Mon was talking to us a lot before the rally.
So Penn State, or Terry, said he got those Bassani pipes on his Scout. He said I should definitely get some. Who makes those? Is it Bassani?
Probably.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I met you.
We try to get American-made stuff because people ask about that all the time.
Okay.
I'm assuming by the name, it could be Japanese or Chinese pipes. We were looking at Cobra because they're American-made. They actually have a factory over in California. We try to get to it. What did I end up telling you about that? Cobra.
He said he's just really busy and he's not there very often. And when he is, he's super busy.
Ain't nobody else will give us a tour?
Nope, only him. That's his job.
Crap. They said they would hook us up with stuff. If there's stuff we wanted to try out, they would send it to us and we could put it on and check it out. I like
Bassani.
What?
Jerry said Bassani makes Bassani.
I figured that. That's what I thought the pipes were.
I don't know. Well, like neighbor haters. I've always heard of them, and then Cobra makes neighbor haters.
What? You want another water?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Unless you want to get on camera.
Probably. She had some beers in her hand. They did look really cold.
So not too crowded tonight. It's a Sunday night. When we first got here, it was pretty crowded. The patio was all filled up with people. This one side here was all filled up. There was a few tables. When I took the picture, there was a few tables that I got in the picture that wasn't full. But now it's getting later. It's Sunday. Most people got to go to work tomorrow. There's not any real big sporting events, I don't think, on tonight. It was girls. I guess
girls basketball. There was a big
New
old
York
brawl,
and
and half of them got ejected from the game.
one did.
Whatever game that was.
Basketball on Nevada or New York and.
Oh, it's March Madness, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I guess it is. We're not big basketball fans.
No, it's April now.
They said it was March.
It's April.
You said it was March.
They told me to tell you it was April. When
No,
you got
I know April 15th. I told her already we need to call the tax lady and see if I need to put some money in my HSA account. Take off some taxes. That we pulled a lot of money out of 401 this year.
Roland said he's got Cobras and he loves them. Eddie Diesel said, time change. I know.
We had to get up an hour earlier because I wanted to be at the Beaver Bar at 8 o'clock. And then when she had to wash her hair this morning, she's like, that means I'm really getting up at 5. And she usually gets up about an hour and a half earlier to do her hair. She likes to do it in the morning. She all bent over in the shower. Got a little wash pan she's doing her hair in. You're not doing your new hair shampoo?
Excellent.
Then you had the other stuff out.
Yeah, I just did that. I don't know, it's faster. Folks, I knew we were going to come here, and these lights make my hair look orange. So I used the other one to make it look a little lighter, and it still looks
I got a mohawk.
Sorry. Exxon Camero says, hi, you guys. Chad's on. He's on there twice. Great job this year, Riley. Appreciate it. Thanks.
We got a lot of compliments this year. Just didn't get a lot of viewers. And I know a lot of you that are here, you may watch it next week. That's why I said we got a lot of great videos to put out the next couple of weeks. But I got to keep up a pace of a video every day. So that's why I thought tomorrow, if we can get a hold of the guy in Myrtle Beach, if he got the extra property, we could have him come on tomorrow night and do a quick live with him. And or I could do it during the day and then put it back up with the video. And usually I like to just do it live. It looks better. So it's not very, I don't pay for the 1080. I pay for 720. The 720 is better when we're doing live because that way if it's crappy, it's 720, not shooting 4K or 8K. I seen one of the phones I just looked at, when I looked at it the other day, it shoots 8K.
Does it? The new phone?
I don't know which one.
What, you just do the gimbal on?
It might be. I don't know.
So, anyway, been on an hour and 45 minutes.
Holy smokes, I didn't think I'd make it that long today.
No, he said we're probably only going to do an hour. That's it.
I can't breathe. So, it's overall, I'm pretty happy with the rally. Good attendance. In here, I think there was a lot more crashes this year than normal. I think a few more people died. Maybe even a pedestrian got hit by a motorcycle. So we'll have a little bit more of that in the next few days. We have a safety officer now. We'll talk to her and have her see if she'll call around and get us all our numbers for us.
Who?
That girl safety officer.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking that, too.
And she said, I'll do whatever you guys need. So call her up and see if we can use her.
That's what she told me. She says, if you guys need cameras or microphones or lights or whatever, just let me know. I want to make sure that everything looks good. And I'm like, she's thinking it didn't look good. I thought it looked all right.
We did one year. We took it all to the Buffalo. It's really getting loud in here. For nobody hardly being in here, it's really loud. We took all the lights and stuff to us. But typically, unless you're doing an interview, like we did some with Rod, and we set all the lights up at the Buffalo Chip in his office and all this stuff, and really doesn't look that much better. Now at home, we set all the lights up when we do our lives from home, from the studio. I have lights there that we set up. If you turn the other ones off, you don't see all the fluorescent ones. Trying to make it look better. We'd like to start, when we get back, we're going to try to get more of like podcasts. Kind of like some of these, you guys ever watch that 2-Lane Change? I'm not a big follower of them, but I see when they do their lives and stuff, they're all sitting on couches. And, well, they got more people than I got. They got one guy that works the computer, so he's switching cameras around and all that. If we do it, we'll have to do it with what I got.
Well, we tried to get that switch box.
I got it, but it just doesn't work very good. Oh, somebody gave us a super chat.
Chad.
Thank you. You got him a super sticker.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you. We appreciate all that.
That's all I had done. That gave me almost a little more than a gallon of gas. We're going to fill it back every week.
Joe Moto said, I met up with y'all. I can't remember where, but it was one of those opposites of Hooters. So the Twin Peaks, the Hooters aren't big for Hooters anymore.
They got no owls in there
Pating,
anymore.
there you go. You're supposed to say pating when somebody gives you a
I
super
can't
chat.
see it.
Huh?
Oh,
Neil said pating. I said when somebody gives you a super chat, you should say pating.
there you go.
Mozzie bites. Speed bumps. Yep.
So where's that Mon from? You ever
I
throw
told
him where
him.
he's from?
He did tell me, and I don't know. I'm assuming it's a city in Australia, but I
I
didn't
guess
know it.
no. He's from Australia. I guess it would be a city.
Well, I mean, he said right now and then he told me where, but I have to look it up again. Where did it say, Rowan?
That doesn't matter.
Ballarat. Ballarat.
Then we can look it up later and see where the heck he lives. Do they live in
Is that
Sydney or
anywhere
something?
close to Sydney? Is it Bollallar?
So overall, I didn't really hear any real complaints about the rally. The whole time we were down on Main Street, we didn't see the cops pulling anybody over. We did see some cars pulled over. We did see some bikes pulled over on the US 1. One guy didn't have a license plate on his bike. Another guy had his sunglasses on top of his head. Hello? But I mean, I did that the other day too because I was looking down at my gauges at a stoplight. So it could be a bad habit.
It seems like there was more bikes this year. There's still a lot of cars because this is a touristy area, but I think there was more bikes this year than last year.
Seems like it.
That's over in Lake City.
What?
The chicken bone lady Neil wants us to find. The creator of Danny Bassini of the Pipes, I think he passed away just a couple weeks ago. Maybe not. No. We all got it. Well, none of us are going to live forever. Victoria. That's not a country.
Must be the big city you find.
Oh, I guess. Maybe. I'll put that down too.
So that's about it. That's about all we got to tell you about what we know at this point. We'll give you some updates soon as we get some numbers on deaths, accidents. We're not going to talk about tickets and all that stuff. We get that next year when we come back. Because it really doesn't. A lot of people always think the cops are picking on people, and we don't see that. And we see most people get pulled over. It's because you did something stupid, or like this guy didn't have a license plate on his bike. The guy had his sunglasses on top of his head. And he drove.
It was overcast, I think, and he probably wherever they were in the bar.
He came through Iron Horse, and he had his glasses on top. So he drove through that. He went through the next light before he got pulled over. Now we see another guy get pulled over, but we don't know what. He was on the other side of the highway, so I don't know where he got pulled over for. But a lot of times they pull you over, give you a warning. If you're not stupid, they're going to let you go. Or you got somebody you haven't, like we tell you, don't be splitting lanes, don't be passing on the shoulder, don't do excessive speeding. So it's easy to hot rod, but you got to watch some of the roads because in front of the Iron Horse, now they dropped it to 45, but normally that stretch is 55 miles an hour. And then if you're over on Nova, it's only 45. And then if you go all the way over to that Clyde Morris, some of that's 35. So, it's hard to remember what road you're on to keep track of your speed. One of the vendors, she was doing 65 and a 35? The girl that was the vendor got speeding ticket. She was doing 35 zone. She was doing 65.
Oh, yeah.
So the cop ended up giving her the lowest ticket.
Going 8 miles over the speed limit.
So he was at least generous to her.
Well, she said, you know what that tells me? I can go at least 7 miles over the speed limit.
Normally you can go 5. I usually go, I try to lock my cruise in. A lot of people say cruise don't work. Cruise works at 25 miles an hour. When I go through a school zone at 20, I lock it in. Because the school zone, like we seen one, I seen it, she went with me. But somebody got pulled over for 2 people were passing a school bus on Dunlop, and it was in the right lane, had signs all out. And this cop must have already knew where they were picking kids up. And as soon as I heard the siren, but I thought it was the bus horn. I'm like, man, that's weird. And all of a sudden, here comes the squad car out there and chased 2 cars down. So, yes.
So, Rowan lives down by Melbourne.
There you go.
I looked it up. Where are you going next?
Orlando.
To bed. Orlando's after this. Kept on a Cracker City. Watch the video with Tam riding the Sportster. She looked like Evil Knievel, but without the bad attitude. I know.
And nobody said nothing. She had her helmet going to the dealership because she didn't have a windshield on, and she took her helmet off on the way back. She used to wear a helmet all the time after she had a wreck. Yeah. She kind of got away from it.
Hear that cough. I don't want to get pneumonia. Get some rest and drink more tea. He drinks a ton of tea. It wasn't bad. I thought we had a good time, and we'll be back. Made it home this morning, back to Georgia. All right. Glad to hear that. Yeah, and if everybody's leaving, it seems like everybody's already home. But if you're on your way home, be safe, be careful.
We seen Crazy Horse still had not a lot of trailers, but there was probably still 100 or more still sitting there. There was a lot of my team still there when we came over here. So a lot of people maybe like us. We don't normally leave till the day after. Because Sunday, everybody's traveling on Sunday. So tomorrow when we leave, we'll wait till rush hour's over. I'd like to leave about 10 in the morning, but I mean, I have to see how everything goes. We got to get my motorcycle in the trailer, load it all up, unhook the trailer, get it all. The things
somebody took a nap. I picked up a lot of stuff.
You know, we still got a lot to go.
Yeah.
And I put the computers away. In fact, I'm not going to do a video tonight or tomorrow morning. We'll just start. I'll get something when we get there and try to. If we get a hold of this promoter, maybe we'll have him come on tomorrow night and we'll just do a short with him telling you about what he's doing for a new location at Myrtle Beach. It's something new to be looking for. It's kind of neat because without having that big vendor trucks, kind of puts the rally down to a small one where it gets to be like Leesburg. Leesburg doesn't really have any big trucks come in other than what they have at the dealership. And so the dealership in Myrtle Beach just doesn't. They have Rick Rack there, and that's about it. The rest of the stuff is that they're selling T-shirts and that stuff. KST, I think the handlebars were there. The biker bar guys there, but he ain't selling nothing. A couple other people doing stereos or doing something there. People I don't know, but everybody else is kind of left there.
Person's there, some patches. The hammock guys selling hammocks and
crap. You don't need a little hard. I ain't figured out how to. A couple things I haven't been able to figure out how to put on my bike. One is that recliner, that vibrating chair. Can't figure out how I'm going to get that on my bike so I can ride it and get a massage. Second thing I haven't been able to figure out is how I'm going to hang a hammock on there so I can maybe she can take a little nap while we're riding. Ain't figured out how that's going to be. And what's the other one? There was one more thing I was thinking about that I ain't figured out how to use while we're riding.
Mattress.
A mattress. And you know, it'd be different if they were selling RV mattresses. At least they would have something that, you know, some people might buy. But selling a full-size mattress for a house,
they'll ship it to you. They keep telling you they'll ship it to you.
You're gonna spend all that kind of money. You might as well, you probably get one a hell of a lot cheaper at home.
I
wouldn't buy a recliner or a mattress when I'm on the road.
Yeah, I sat in that recliner. I did through 2 cycles. And
you said it was better at the
at Planet Fitness.
Yeah,
I like that one better.
And that's free. Well, we pay $20 a month for it.
Yeah, but I don't usually like those because they like dig in your back, those little things.
Needle in there, whatever they call it.
Whatever,
needing.
But I like that.
What's it do? How's it do?
I don't know what they call it.
Beating you up? Karate chops?
I don't know. There's kneading and then there's the
massage.
Yeah, I guess. 6-hour live stream I have done. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we did that one New Year's Eve night. That was way too long for me. Burning Bike was not ready so far. Many attendees, they have to up their game next year. What do you think? Why it was over the past? Burning Bike was not ready for so many attendees that they will have to up the game next year.
You're saying that the grounds, the promoter putting it on wasn't able to handle the influx of people, which is true. Because they only got porta potties out there. There's only a couple of bars out there, a couple of places, food trucks selling food and stuff. So yeah, if you look at all that and all those people wanted to do that stuff, yes, that was. But I mean, it's hard to estimate that because let's say he puts in a lot more things next year, and only half the crowd comes out. Then he spends all that money.
Down rain, and then nobody shows up.
So it's always a gamble. The food you order.
So you want to say the overall weather for the rally?
Not bad. You know, a lot of people were all boo-hooing 2 weeks before the rally. It was going to rain every day. First of all,
that's what the meteorologist said.
And first of all, you got to realize that if you believe the weatherman, he's the only man in the world, woman, that gets paid to be
every day
and gets paid for it, and no repetition. If you lied at work all the time, you'd be fired. So, or not tell the truth or make up things that you just feel that that's the way it's going to be. So it ended up being, actually, I think during the rally, we never really got wet at all. The day that it rained, Saturday, the first Saturday, it rained at the racetrack, Speedway, but it did not rain in DeLand, and it did not rain at Sons of Speeds. We see no rain at all. We pulled up, there's like all this water and stuff. It was like, holy crap, what happened? It's been raining off and on 3 times a day. This is Florida. It could rain at Teddy Morris's and not rain at
Speedway, or vice versa.
Or Raven is a Beaver Bar. they had that microburst. That mainly was the speedway that got all that damage and stuff.
Because even over at Crazy Horse, which is on the other side of the highway from the speedway,
Camp Easy Ride said they didn't have any. I figured all their tents were blown away. They were gone. We went over there the last day, and he's like, "Oh no, we had one tent go down, but we got it up right away, and no big deal." And I was like, "Oh, that's good." But he said, "Yeah, it was nothing like they got at the speedway."
yeah.
So you don't know about that. That's the way things are in Florida. But this last end of the week, they kept saying, I took the dealer bike or the factory bike out on Tuesday. Originally, they were saying Tuesday and Wednesday was going to rain all day. Then the day we talked to corporate, they said Tuesday's the only day we got. Wednesday's already booked up. And I'm like, I look, and again, it's like, oh, it's not supposed to rain on Tuesday. When we started out, it looked like rain, but it never did. And then Wednesday was a perfect day. Sunny, it never rained on that day. So overall, the weather was really good. If you come to Florida thinking it's not going to rain, it's like going to Sturgis. It's going to rain probably. You need to bring your rain gear. We carried it around until 2 days ago. I took it out. But we had it all the way up to that point. When there's one video, I put it up there. We were putting the rain gear on because it sprinkled just a little. It just
started to sprinkle, and he's like, we might as well stop and put it on.
We've had that happen before. We came back from Sons of Speeds one time a couple years ago, and we're like a mile from this guy's house that we stay at, and it poured. We were just in 2 minutes, we were totally soaked. And I don't think we had the rain gear that day. And we ended up pulling underneath the gas station and sit till it stopped. But we're already wet, but it's cold.
I mean, it was, yeah. And he had the garage open for us. We just pulled right in. It's like, he had already been back. So, Ryland's on, which is Sue's granddaughter.
We'll be there soon.
That's what she said. I can't wait to see you guys. Eddie says, okay, see you guys later. Be safe, everyone. Subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Share us with your family and friends. And we'll see you all down the road.
That's the way we keep it. People always want to know how you can help us out. You don't have to send us money. We appreciate it if you send money, but you don't have to. But I mean, if you watch the videos, one of the things you can do is go to a playlist and just hit it and throw your phone down. That'll play the commercials and stuff, and we get a few pennies from that, and it all adds up. So that helps us out in the time in between rallies. There's a lot of lights going on. That's one way you can do it. Sharing us with your friends and say, hey, we were just in Daytona. These people covered a bunch of great stuff. You might want to check it out. Maybe they had, we want to see Willie's. You want to see the first one and then watch the big one that I'll put out. So we got some really great stuff coming out, and so keep watching. We're going to try the next week, try to put out a video every day. We'll be back next Sunday with another live. We'll be from Orlando or Kissimmee, somewhere there. We'll probably be over at Sicky's or Ford's Garage. We'll probably do one from one of those two places. So that's kind of what's going on over there. It depends on the campground. If we got any internet where I can put a video out every day. If it ends up being really sucky internet, we might just do shorts. Because it seems like they like shorts. Just don't make a lot of money on the minute. But that's okay. So that's that. We're going to leave you all right here in Daytona at Twin Peaks. And Tam's going to go around here in a few minutes, and she's going to get some more shots of the girls where they're going to talk on some of the videos coming up. Thanking you for coming, if you were here, or thanks for watching. And come back and check them out next year. Or if you want to just come down to Daytona, this place just opened. It's not even been a year yet.
Yeah,
they opened up right after the rally.
Almost open. It wasn't quite ready to go after Daytona Bike Week last year. So it's getting close.
Yep.
I always watch the ads, so
I appreciate that. And if you're a YouTube subscriber, doesn't get any commercials, we get paid for that too.
Yeah.
So I get like, I don't know, $5 or $6
Ryder X does that.
I get $5 or $6 a month.
Ryder X was on. He didn't say much. He just said hi, and that was about it. He didn't really say much more. So okay, you guys did say. I know,
he missed all the fun.
Yeah.
There's a great ride. We went out with all of our subscribers.
Yeah.
And it was kind of an unplanned ride. It was just like the day before. She contacted some of the ones we've seen that day, and
we'll be there. Oh, we stay at Frank Brown Park, and we're only going to be there. We'll probably be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're leaving Sunday, and because we have to get to Myrtle Beach. What?
I think Tuesday.
Oh, maybe it's Tuesday.
Day or two before it starts.
A couple days. I guess it starts Thursday, so maybe we get there Tuesday, Wednesday. We have to find out because they're letting us stay there. And once they get the fairgrounds, the promoter gets the fairgrounds, and that's when we can get in and get our spot. So we'll see you there, Indian 89. That's where we'll be. And if you want, let me see if I can figure this out real quick. Email us, and we will switch phone numbers, and then we can meet up with you. That way it'll be a little more easy than just trying to say where you guys going to be. So we'll do that instead. So I got to go back to comments. And tell everybody goodbye. Rowan says, woohoo, the horse flush show. Yeah, she just came by a second ago. I'm gonna pop up at Team Nation. There you go. Thanks, SJS. That one girl wanted to come on, but she never came by. I don't know. I don't know where she went. So anyway, I guess that's it. He's gone. So I should say bye. So thanks for hanging out with us. We love you all. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share it with your family and friends. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll talk to you all soon. Love you. Bye. This is in